teams last night. But Turbo now 6-2. Bellevue now 5-3. So that Viking win last night over Mayville State put the men right in the conference hunt at this point. Still 3 games outside of first place. That's going to be tough to make up. But a couple of games outside of second place, and they get Viterbo again. So this is an opportunity for the Viking men to finish up a strong weekend, get ready to go on the road next week, and that's what they'll do. They'll go on the road to Viterbo and to Waldorf, and you can get one against Mayville this weekend, which they did. Get that one with Viterbo next weekend and get a couple of wins on the road. You're in the conversation of being a 2 seed in this tournament, and that's a big deal right now for the Viking men. So it was a huge win last night. It sets a lot of tone for Valley City State, but you have to hold serve against Presentation today, or else the gains from last night get wiped out quickly. So there's a little bit of pressure here for the Viking men to hold serve at home, try to make it a sweep of the weekend, and move on to next week. Now, Dickinson, or actually Presentation College, comes into this 0-8 as far as North Star Athletic Association play. They're 5-15 overall. Don't let it fool you. They've been right in the ballpark with a lot of teams throughout the course of the season. And if there's one thing that we saw last night for the Viking men, no lead is safe. They had a 24-point edge early in that second half last night, and Mayville State came roaring back and cut that game to 99-98 with 50 seconds to go, rather 40 seconds to go in that matchup. So the Vikings had a chance to really take control of the game, and they did to a certain extent, but they found out that control is fleeting when you're playing one of those very good teams, and it was a lesson to learn, but a lesson hopefully the Vikings learned the right way by still getting out of the gym with a victory. And that's how we set things up for you today. Again, our pregame report is brought to you by Sanford Health Valley City, here for all and here for good. Coming up in our pregame report, lots to do. We'll run down the standings all the way through on the women's side of things to get started with the first installment that we have for Drive for the Title today. We'll also take a look at the rankings in case you missed those from last night. We've got new national rankings that are out there. And then also we'll take a look at the players to watch coming up in this one. And there is a player that the Vikings did not see when they took on Presentation College back last weekend that is going to be back in the lineup and starting tonight, and that could make the Saints a little bit more difficult to deal with on the women's side of play. Our starting lineups in basketball on the way scheduled for a 3 o'clock start this afternoon here at the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse, and we should have a fun time here today at the W.E. for 2 big games. This Presentation on the road. Last time we'll see them in the regular season. You know they're going to have a lot of fight in them, and it should make it for an exciting atmosphere coming up today, and we're looking forward to bringing it to you. Again, our pregame report brought to you by Sanford Health Valley City. We have a pause as we continue our pregame coverage, and we'll come back with more in a couple of moments. This is Viking basketball, and the voice of the Valley and the voice of the Vikings, KOVC.
You don't want to fumble it away with these 2 events. Valley Meat Supply has you covered for the big game on February 12th and Valentine's Day on February 14th. Take care of your football crowd with meat and cheese trays and appetizers. And for the sweetheart on Valentine's Day, how about those thick, juicy steaks, along with seafood like lobster, crab legs, shrimp, and scallops. For the big game, Valentine's Day, or anytime, remember Valley Meat Supply, West Main, Valley City.
At Bank Forward, we focus on building relationships. Hi, I'm Kara Weep with Bank Forward in Valley City. Whether it's opening a checking account, saving for college, or starting your own business, Bank Forward is the bank big enough to help, but we're small enough to know your name. Call 845-1220 or visit bankforward.com today. Striving to be the bank that defines customer service since 1927. It's simply the Forward way. Bank Forward, member FDIC.
Now is the time, now is the time.
At CHI Mercy Health, we believe human kindness is at the root of all healing, providing care on a human level, courage when it's needed most, and a connection that's ever present among us all. Human kindness is meant to be shared. It puts a smile on someone's face and seeks to do the same for others. Take the time to nourish what's inside and watch your life flourish outside, because taking care of yourself is an act of human kindness. Just like human kindness, happiness can come from the most unexpected places. Whether it's from your friend, your dog, or a memory, embrace it and pass it on. CHI Mercy Health of Valley City.
Brothers 3 has the area's widest variety of classic and new ice fishing tackle at the lowest prices to give you the edge this year. Before heading out on the ice, stop in and get your live bait and tackle and fill your tank with the highest quality gas and diesel. Brothers 3 is your locally owned and operated convenience store. As always, Brothers 3 has the lowest prices in town on everything, from snacks and drinks to winter gear and propane and automotive supplies. Remember, it pays to shop at Brothers 3.
Did you know that January is National Bath Safety Month? Here are some ways to stay safe in your bathroom from Smith Lumber Home Center. Install non-slip mats in the bath, add safety handles, add lights, install a step in the tub, add ADA accessories, child-proof the bathroom, or maybe it's a new toilet. And Smith Lumber Home Center has all kinds of toilets, including soft close and bidet seats. Keep your home safe with Smith Lumber Home Center, East Main, Valley City.
Welcome back to the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse. Our coverage of Viking basketball continues for day 2 of our conference weekend. Today it's the Vikings and Presentation College of Aberdeen, South Dakota, here on the Voice of the Valley and the Voice of the Vikings, KOVC. Ryan Cunningham with you here today, and it's a pleasure to be with you as we move things into day 2 of our conference weekend. The women's game will get things going for us, and the men's game wraps things up. Our pregame report brought to you by Sanford Health, Valley City, here for all and here for good. Let's take a look at Drive for the Title, brought to you by Sanford Health, Valley City. We'll dive into the latest that we have as far as our standings after last night's activity. We'll start with the scores that came in from women's basketball last night, as we saw some great games around the league again last night. That one between the Vikings and Mayville State may have been 16 points, but it took a while to get to 16 for Mayville State. We had some competitive basketball here with the front-running Comets last night. Scores: Dakota State defeats Waldorf at home 71-62. Presentation College beaten on the road at Dickinson State last night 72-58. Correction, those are men's scores. My apologies, folks. Man, we're getting this started on a great roll so far. We had the men's page pulled up, not the women's page pulled up, all right? Let's check out those women's scores. And I was a little suspect when I saw them, because when we checked the scores with Dakota State and Waldorf in progress last night, that was not that close, and now I stand corrected. Dakota State defeated Waldorf at home last night 76-38. Dickinson State did defeat Presentation 69-43, and Bellevue holds serve at home against Viterbo 65-48. Here, as we mentioned, Mayville State goes on the road and wins by a final score of 88-72. So in women's play, the standings inside the North Star: Mayville State, Dakota State, and Bellevue all in a three-way tie for first place with a 7-1 mark. Valley City State 3 games out at 4-4, a game up on Dickinson State, who's now 3-5. Viterbo and Waldorf each 2-6. Presentation College is 0-8, and so the situation for the Viking women today looks like this. You want to get the win at home against a team that has not yet won in the league. That's the first thing. The next thing that you're looking to do is get a little help from Mayville State, the team that you played last night. Let them go on the road, knock off Dickinson State out in Dickinson, and keep that Blue Hawks team a couple of games behind you in the standings, and then top that off with the fact that you've got tiebreakers on them, and it turns into almost a quasi 3-game lead for that final spot in the top half of the conference right now. So today could be a big day, but it starts with the Vikings having to hold serve, and then you're looking for, obviously, the opportunity to get a little help from the Comets, who were here last night. As far as the national poll is concerned in women's play, coming into the evening, the top-ranked team in the country remains Thomas More, Kentucky. All 21 first-place votes. Central Methodist Missouri was second. Campbellsville, Kentucky was third. Dort, Iowa, the closest team to us, one of the GPAC schools. They're currently ranked 4th. Westmont, California is ranked 5th. 6 through 10, Marion, Indiana, Indiana Wesleyan, Clark, Iowa, Lewis and Clark State, Idaho, and Loyola of Louisiana. Notables: Carroll, Montana, up 7 spots this week to number 11. We're familiar with Carroll when it comes down to football. Montana Western is number 15. Briarcliff, Iowa is number 18. Northwestern Iowa is number 20. Rocky Mountain, Montana is number 22. And as far as those getting votes, Dakota State, the lone team out of the North Star Athletic Association to receive nods in the national poll. That's a look at Drive for the Title. And again, games going on today in the conference. Today is day 2. Everybody switches up the teams that they played last night. So getting ready to go on the floor this afternoon, it'll be Viterbo at Dakota State. Also, Waldorf is at Bellevue. They'll be in the Mountain Time Zone, so Mayville State plays Dickinson State at 4 o'clock this afternoon. We'll look to pick up some updates of some of those games in progress throughout the course of the day. That's a look at Drive for the Title, brought to you by Sanford Health, Valley City, here for all and here for good. Our national anthem is on the way. News and notes coming up, preview of our men's matchup as well. So do stay with us here from the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse. Day 2 of Viking basketball. It's Valley City State and Presentation College right here on the Voice of the Vikings and the Voice of the Valley, KOVC.
Are you on the right financial path? Are all your financial professionals on the same page? At LaRue Lockout Financial, you can be assured that your investment professional and tax professional are working together. Call Ryan LaRue at 701-845-6938 or James M. Lockout at CPA 701-845-1660. Services offered through Investment Advisors, a division of Pro Equities Incorporated, a registered investment advisor, and securities offered through Pro Equities Incorporated, a registered broker-dealer and member FINRA and SIPC.
Grotberg Electric believes in quality first, taking pride in the work and standing behind every project they do. They bring together the power, technology, and experience to keep your business online. The success of Grotberg Electric depends on 3 major ideals: the quality of their products, the commitment to their customers, and most of all, their customer service. Call Grotberg Electric today at 845-3010 or visit them online, grotbergelectric.com.
Central Avenue Health Mart Pharmacy, your community Health Mart pharmacy, is here to serve your healthcare needs. During the month of January, take 10% off all Health Mart and Sunmark products. The flu and cold season has hit us hard. For all your healthcare needs and prescriptions, see your trusted healthcare resource, Central Avenue Health Mart Pharmacy, downtown Valley City, where they know you by name. Health Mart, taking time to listen and care.
This is Dr. Ryan Lorenz, physical therapist at Mobility Plus Rehabilitation, with offices in Enderlin, Lisbon, Gwinner, and Valley City. Our mission is to provide exceptional physical and occupational therapy by highly skilled therapists to minimize pain and maximize mobility, which quickly allows you to return to the quality of life you desire. We will evaluate and educate you on your condition, review treatment options, and create an effective treatment plan to solve your impairments based on your unique situation and needs. I invite you to call our offices at Mobility Plus today.
Welcome back to the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse. Just seconds away from our announcement of starting lineups and our national anthem for day 2 of our conference weekend. The Vikings at home with Presentation College. Welcome back to Viking basketball on the Voice of the Vikings and the Voice of the Valley, KOVC. Ryan Cunningham with you here this afternoon. And again, game number 2 of the doubleheader will feature the Viking men. We'll have that for you a scheduled time of 5 o'clock this afternoon for that matchup to take place. This is scheduled for a 3 o'clock tip-off here this afternoon. We're getting ready for our starting lineup. Next weekend, the Vikings will take on Viterbo and Waldorf. That will be the schedule of events coming up for next weekend on the road. On Friday, the Vikings will be at Waldorf, and on Saturday they'll be at Viterbo. So Forest City, Iowa, La Crosse, Wisconsin. Long road trip coming up next weekend for Valley City State. Probably the longest that they have maybe in the league, and so stay tuned for further broadcast details on those. Also last night, the Devils Lake Firebirds beaten by the Highlander girls basketball team. Big win again for the Highlander girls last night. We'll pause for our national anthem. When we come back, starting lineups in basketball between the Vikings and the Saints here today on Viking basketball on the Voice of the Valley and the Voice of the Vikings, KOVC.
Why choose professional eye care centers? Let's count the whys. First, there are now 4 great doctors to see: Dr. Frank, Dr. Freilich, Dr. Jangula, and now welcoming Dr. Bond. Next is their many locations. You can now see one of their spectacular doctors in Jamestown, Valley City, Carrington, and Edgeley. And finally, their fantastic frame selection. And yes, all of their frames and lenses are backed up by warranty. Visit proeyecarecenters.com and make an appointment today. Professional eye care centers, clearly the best.
Don't leave your wiring to chance. Plug into your number 1 electrical source, Highline Electric. They're the experts in residential, commercial, and industrial electrical work. No cutting corners at Highline Electric. Call 845-0731. They'll give you a free estimate before any work is done. Family owned since 1986 with Chad and Tracy Zahn. And I promise, the price won't shock you. Highline Electric in Valley City. Call 845-0731. Building a reputation of integrity and quality.
No matter where you live, you should have access to high-quality health care. Jamestown Regional Medical Center's orthopedic and sports medicine team offers care for hips, shoulders, knees, and toes. When an injury occurs, teams need care quickly. That's why the JRMC orthopedic team promises same-day and next-day appointments. Schedule direct at jrmcnd.com or call 952-4878.
Jamestown Regional Medical Center will never stop building for you.
This is Amy Heim, nurse practitioner with Sanford Health. Well child checks are important visits for children of every age. Yearly well child checks are recommended for children 3 and older and more frequently for those younger than 3. It is at these visits that growth, development, and preventative care are addressed in an effort to keep children as healthy as possible. Recommended immunizations are also discussed and provided at these visits. Call 742-3267 to schedule at your local Sanford Health Clinic in Ellendale, Foreman, Gwinner, Lemoore, Lisbon, or Oaks.
Welcome back to the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse. It's Viking basketball this afternoon. Valley City State will take on Presentation College of Aberdeen, South Dakota. The Saints have announced that their campus is closing at the end of this academic year, so this will be the final regular season matchup between these two teams. They may play again in the tournament, and then that would be the end of the series between the Vikings and the Saints going forward. Let's take a look at our starting lineups for tonight's matchup. Our starting lineups are brought to you this evening by CHI, Mercy Health Valley City. Here for all and here for good. For Presentation College this evening, the guards are Kayla Carmen, a 5'6" sophomore from Gallatin, Tennessee, and Delana Tadalini, a 5'6" junior from Brush, Colorado. Also at guard tonight is Emma Ogichida, who we did not see in Aberdeen, and she's a 10.3 points per game scorer, the leading scorer, back in the lineup tonight for Presentation College, a 5'8" senior from St. Paul, Minnesota. Forwards tonight, Nick Newell, who beat us up pretty badly, if you're a Viking fan, back down in Aberdeen. She is a 5'8" senior from Newport News, Virginia, and Mo Peters, a 5'11" junior from Willows, California. Carly Jeffrey, second season with the Saints. For the Vikings, one change in the starting lineup tonight. The guards will be Haley Roberts, a 5'6" junior from Minot, North Dakota. Allie Critchley, a 5'6" senior from Dilworth, Minnesota. And Ashlyn Deemert, a 5'9" sophomore from West Fargo, North Dakota. The forwards, Adriana Torres, a 5'10" senior from Pelican Rapids, Minnesota. And Taryn Dieterle will be back in the starting lineup tonight, 6-foot senior from Valley City, North Dakota. Those are your starting lineups, and they're brought to you tonight by CHI Mercy Health Valley City. Hello, human kindness. Viking women's basketball coach Vanessa Johnson in her 6th season with the Vikings, sending her team on the floor. Travel day today, so that means you're wearing the opposite uniform as last night. The Vikings are in visiting black with the cardinal and cream accents, and Presentation College is in home white with the green and gold accents, meaning that the teams see each other in the same uniforms they wore a week ago. It's rather interesting that way, that's the way the conference flip takes place. Mo Peters will jump for the Saints, and it will be Adriana Torres that takes the ball for Valley City State in the circle. And we're set to go with Viking basketball versus the Saints this afternoon. The tap is controlled by the Vikings. Allie Critchley will step it into the front court, and we're underway with basketball here today. Critchley looking at high post. Torres gets it from Dieterle to the basket, scores. Adriana Torres had 22 last night. Starts off with a good play tonight. Little high-low backdoor cut, and the Vikings take a 2-0 lead. Next, Newell into the front court for the Saints, looking to hand off for Carmen, who will step away from some pressure. There are 2 Carmens on this team, Kayla and Kene. It's Kayla that's on the floor right now as the point guard. Ball knocked out of her hands, floats back. Then she picked it up and stepped into the back court. That'll be a backcourt violation, and the ball's going to go back to Valley City State. Carly Jeffrey's upset. She thought that was a continuation of the ball being deflected by a Viking, but the Vikings will earn the turnover. Torres, high post, Dieterle looking for that backdoor cut. This time it's cut off. She'll turn it back to Critchley on the top of the key. Critchley looking in, lobs the high-low in for Dieterle, broken up, and Delana Tadalini will take it away in a loose basketball for Presentation College. Vikings leading by a score of 2-0. Early in the opening quarter, Newell working right side, Mo Peters on the right elbow. Taking a look and handing back to Newell with a drive towards the right baseline. A kick in, Carmen got to the glass, it scores. Kayla Carmen coming in from the perimeter. She finds a cut to the basket. That'll tie the game at 2 each. A little better than a minute in. Allie Critchley stepping into the front court, stopping on the foul line, kicking out to the left corner. Ashlyn Deemert to head fake to draw defender from 17, shot strong. Rebound Tadalini on the weak side for Presentation College, and the Saints go looking for a lead. It looks like Nick Newell's playing with a pretty heavy bandage on her left shoulder, and that, I don't believe that's her shooting hand. She throws the basketball away, looking near side for Carmen. Allie Critchley took it, and Mo Peters riding Critchley up the floor is going to be called for her first foul tonight. Opening foul against Presentation College as well. The ball will stay with the Vikings in the front court. We're tied at 2, a minute and 29 seconds into the opening quarter. Allie Critchley will inbound the basketball for Valley City State. Critchley looking near side, pull-up jumper. Torres from 12, missed it short. Rebound bounced around, and Emino Gitchida will bring it down for Presentation College. Saints and Vikings still tied at 2. Newell into the front court, being defended hard, player to player out in the top by Adriana Torres. Newell driving left, spinning back to the right, a stop on the foul line. Looks to distribute back to Tadalini in the left wing. Tadalini lobs it back to Kayla Carmen in the left corner. Hard take to the basket, tried to put one up and got stripped. It's stripped out of her hands by Allie Critchley. The turnover forced by the Vikings. Now Critchley with a couple of spins and crossovers on Kayla Carmen. It's going to net a foul as Carmen got her hands in, and Kayla Carmen has her first tonight. Team foul number 2 against Presentation College. And the Vikings will inbound with Adriana Torres tossing it in. Standing near, right in front of, in fact, Carly Jeffrey, the Saints head coach, along the Presentation College bench to our left. Critchley to Torres on the top of the key, and now Diemert left wing, looking in, trying to find Dieterle in the post, not there. Critchley underneath, backdoor Diemert. She's had a great second half of the season. Ashlyn Diemert with her first 2. Coming into the weekend, Diemert had pushed her average to 10.3 points per game, really having a nice second half of the conference year. The Vikings take a 4-2 lead. Ball near side, Tadalini. She's roughed around by Haley Roberts. First foul of the night against the Vikings. We'll see Emma Ogichida tossing the ball in on the near side of the floor for Presentation College. Ogichida stands ready, takes a look in. Neck Newell will take it out by the circle, and now Newell surveys her options against Adriana Torres. Ball on the left side of the floor, kicked out towards Kayla Carmen. Carmen, ball faking towards the perimeter, now bringing it back towards the top of the key and a step back dribble. Still surveying options, walking the dribble towards the right side. Now back to Peters on the right elbow, back into the corner again for Kayla Carmen. Carmen off to Tadalini, and we've got a 5-second call coming up. Kayla Carmen unable to advance the ball to the basket, and it's whistled on the near side of the floor. Another turnover forced by the Vikings. The Viking defense has been sharp in the early going. They have a 4-2 lead. It's been a lethargic affair offensively, with the Vikings up by 2. Critchley kicking out Roberts, and now Torres on top. Torres shuffling the feet towards the right side. Back to the top for Roberts, just outside the foul line. Jumper in and out. Rebound loose in the lane, and Kayla Carmen secures it for Presentation College. Ogichida walks it into the front court for the Saints, and then turns it back over to the far side for Neck Newell. 4-2 in favor of Valley City State. A 2-point lead for the Vikings. A step up on top for Newell, looking left side. Hard take to the basket, comes up short. Rebound smacked out of bounds by Mo Peters, and this is going back to the Vikings. Presentation College will send in Paula Bernal, Rodri Galvarez. Rodri Galvarez, a 5'8 junior out of Barcelona, Spain. Second consecutive night that we see a little international flavor. Last night it was the Mayville State men. They had a handful of international players, 3 from Australia, 1 from the Dominican Republic. Roberts, a 3 from the right side, comes up empty for the Vikings, and Emma Ogichida with a weak side rebound for Presentation College. Still 4-2, Vikings by 2, 3.5 minutes in. Newell driving up against Torres on the right side of the floor, and a late whistle foul coming up. Roberts coming over, and it looks like she got Nick Newell in the forehead. That'll be the second on Haley Roberts. The Vikings were set to go to their bench, but now they'll change both guards. Allie Critchley comes out for Madison Wilhelmy. A 5'5 freshman from Beach is Wilhelmy, and we'll see J.C. Richter in for the first time. 5'6 freshman out of Linton, North Dakota, third leading scorer, despite not joining the team till November. Ogichida inside will score right in front of the rim. They get it to Emma Ogichida, their leading scorer for the first time, and Ogichida over the front of the rim will score to tie the game up at 4 apiece. We mentioned Richter, who has the basketball for Valley City State. Again, a volleyball player till November. She's been a nice addition for the Vikings here as they've taken on their conference schedule. Off the right side, a look by Richter. Taking the ball from Diemert, she'll drive towards the right corner. Reverses to Wilhelmy, deep 3 on the way. It's off the heel of the rim. Rebound loose to the perimeter. Newell and Rodri Galvarez trip themselves up. The Vikings able to close and grab it. A huge bump and an offensive foul. Ashlyn Diemert ran into Delena Tadalini, and Diemert will be called for a charge. Third foul on the Vikings. They have just 1 to give now with 5.5 minutes to go in the opening quarter, and a late change will be made by Presentation College as Kanae Carmen will step on to replace Neck Newell, sophomore out of Gallatin, Tennessee as well. Both Kanae and Kayla Carmen's sophomores from Gallatin, Tennessee. We haven't verified that they're sisters, but very likely that situation, right? And Emma Ogichita will bring the ball into the front court for Presentation College as they have a tie game with the Vikings at 4 apiece. High post, left side, Mo Peters for the Saints. Kind of crouches, looking at a jumper, still holding the basketball, sends it back to Ogichita instead. She'll drive to the right, picks a spot just inside the arc, jumper in and out, and the rebound taken down by Taryn Dieterle for Valley City State. Wilhelmy up the floor, Deemer to head fake on a 3, turns it back to Torres, who traveled before she got a 3-point shot away, and the ball heads back into the hands of PC. Meredith Dumas steps onto the floor for the first time for the Vikings. Dumas, a 5'10 senior from Grafton, North Dakota, and last night a start for Emma Nielsen. Today she'll play off the bench. 5'5 senior from Barnesville, Minnesota. Still tied at 4. We played better than 5 minutes of the opening quarter and a ball thrown out of bounds. Nielsen got a hand on a pass from Ogichita. Goes beyond the far sideline, and Presentation College will re-inbound the basketball. Kanae Carmen will throw it in off the far sideline. Carmen taking a look, looks both directions, loads up towards the corner, now out to Rodrigue Alvarez. That's broken up into the backcourt. Wilhelmy trying to race down Rodrigue Alvarez, but it'll be Paula Bernal, Rodrigue Alvarez that gets back to the basketball and brings it back into the front court, only to be trapped and threw it back towards the stripe very nearly. Another backcourt violation. The backdoor cut to Kanae Carmen, a pass too strong from Emma Ogichita. It's another turnover against Presentation College, and the Vikings will re-inbound the basketball. 2 field goals each way, not much scoring, and that says the minimum. 4:35 left of the opening quarter, tied at 4. Torres, scoop layup, left short. Rodrigue Alvarez with a rebound for Presentation College, and the Saints again will bring the ball into the front court looking for a lead as Emma Nielsen pressures Emma Ogichita. Ogichita spins her way back to the basket, out in the high slot. We'll bring it back toward the right side for Tadalini. A kick left side. Kanae Carmen for 3 is good. Presentation College has their first lead. 7-4, PC takes a 3-point edge as Kanae Carmen hits a 3-point shot to put PC up for the first time this afternoon. J.C. Richter stepping down towards the right corner, reverses. Emma Nielsen, near side, Wilhelmy into the corner for Dumas. Head fake, drew the defender. Dumas kicking out, threw it away. Trying to wrap one around the baseline for Nielsen, instead threw it up into the Saints. And the ball goes back to Presentation College. Kayla Carmen is coming back into the game for Presentation. She's trying to get a finger bandaged up. She's going to replace Delana Tadalini. And PC will also send Katie Peterson, a 6-foot sophomore from Eagle Mountain, Utah. She'll replace Mo Peters. We saw some flashes from Katie Peterson down in Aberdeen of being a very talented reserve post player. We'll see what her role looks like today. 7-4, Presentation College by 3 with the basketball. Kayla Carmen in the top of the key, looking at Peterson. High post on the right elbow. Peterson knocked off her spot a bit. Regains composure, fires Kanae Carmen off the glass. Carmen running layup, won't go down. There's a rebound scrum, and this is going out of bounds off of Kayla Carmen of Presentation College. And the Vikings will get the basketball back. Ashlyn Diemert will trigger it in. The Vikings still down 3 at 7-4. Only 11 points in the first 6.5 minutes of this opening quarter. Been a defensive struggle thus far. Head fake by Richter, reversal to Wilhelmy on top. Wilhelmy driving right, hard take to the basket, stuff. Kayla Carmen blocked the shot. Katie Peterson comes down with a loose basketball. The Saints get a turnover of sorts and bring the ball back into the front court. Ogichita a stop just beyond the center circle. Sends it off to the high post for Kayla Carmen on the left elbow. Back to the top for Ogichita, working right. Hard take to the baseline. Got away from a defender. Comes up and misses off the glass, point blank. A rebound for J.C. Richter and a foul against Emma Ogichita, trying to chase her miss. Ogichita's first. That'll be team foul number 3 against the Saints. So one more to give for Presentation College before the penalty as well. Allie Critchley back into the matchup for the Vikings, and we'll see Katie Johnson for the first time today, a 5'6 sophomore out of Pura, Minnesota, for her first minutes. Diemert hands it off to Critchley. Nielsen brings it back to Diemert, and now Peterson on the right side of the floor for the Vikings, looking in, trying to find Dumas, who's covered up in the post right now by Katie Peterson. Physical battle there. Critchley on the left wing, cross dribble, steps in the lane, kicks out to Diemert, 3 on the way, comes up short, rebound deflected to the perimeter. Critchley running it down and then losing it. Nick Newell knocking it away into a 2-on-1. Newell drives in, whistle, blocking foul coming up against Ashlyn Diemert, and that's going to put the Vikings a little short in that spot. Diemert with her second personal foul, and so the Vikings are going to get young now. They'll send in Madison Spacier, a 5'11 freshman from Watford City, North Dakota. She's continued to make strides throughout the course of the year, but she may have to play some big minutes in the opening half. with Diemert now at 2 fouls. In the meantime, Nick Newell is at the foul line for Presentation College. First for the lefty is off the heel of the rim. No good for Nick Newell. Newell's a 60% foul shooter. They're not terrible from the foul line as PC, but out of their top 10 in the rotation, they have some struggles from the foul line. Couple of 50%, couple of 60% in there. Second foul shot on the way for Newell is good, and that'll push the lead for Presentation College to 8-4. Vikings haven't done anything offensively for a while. Some urgency here. Allie Critchley into the front court. A stop. Look near side for Madison Spacier. Head fake, drive, kick out. Katie Johnson, the right corner. Johnson a stop and a look back towards the wing. Lobs one back to Critchley. Critchley out between the circles and the shot clock half expired. Critchley working back to the right. Katie Johnson back to Critchley again. Shot clock at 10. Bounce pass into Spacier. Back to Nielsen, and that's too strong and out of bounds. And it will go back to the Saints. I'm not sure if the Vikings just look a little troubled offensively. One of the things you could say is that their main offensive weapons, Torres, Diemert, and also Dieterle, not on the floor right now. So kind of playing without your main 3 offensive weapons. You could say 4, as J.C. Richter's not on the floor either. Kane Carmen take to the basket, scores over Allie Critchley. Kane Carmen going in for a high layup and scoring her 5th, and it's now 10-4. Presentation College will take a 6-point lead. Spacier inside, pulling up in front of the rim and scoring. Big bucket for the youngster. Madison Spacier with their first 2 points today. It cuts the Presentation College lead to 4 at 10-6. We're down to 90 seconds to play of the opening quarter. Nick Newell in the top of the key, looks in high post. Katie Peterson, couple of bumps from Spacier, then works it off towards the right side. Ball in the hands of Presentation College's Gabby Lopez, junior from Hardin, Montana. We didn't catch her name when she entered the game. Apologies, folks. Lopez on the floor. Kane Carmen driving left, shot clock at 4. Carmen a step back shot that comes up short for a long 2. Madison Spacier with the rebound for Valley City State. We're into the final minute of the opening quarter. Spacier driving right, out to Nielsen, open for 3 right corner. That one's strong. Rebound to Katie Peterson inside, fighting off Meredith Dumas for the basketball. 10-6 Saints by 4 on the LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard. We're down to 45 seconds to play of the opening quarter, and right now the game clock with 18 on the differential, and a ball down low intended for Lopez, knocked away by Meredith Dumas. The Vikings force a turnover. They come back into the front court with the basketball. Critchley to Spacier on the right baseline, driving against Newell, kicking out Nielsen, back to Critchley. Katie Johnson's open for 3 from the top, trickles off the heel. Dumas fighting strongly for a rebound against 2 Saints inside and forces a jump ball. The arrow will favor Presentation College, and we'll see a change for both teams. Taryn Dieterle back in. The Vikings will also send in Elise Hebrink, a 5'5 sophomore guard from Austin, Minnesota for the first time. Kane Carmen will come off for the Saints, and she's going to be replaced by Evelyn Abunde, a 5'7 sophomore from Chicago, Illinois. Inbounds pass knocked out of bounds. It will stay with the Saints. They'll now inbound on the far sideline rather than the baseline. 25 seconds to go. Shot clock turned off. Inbounds pass comes in. Lopez running into Kane Carmen. We got a travel coming up against Carmen trying to get loose. Allie Critchley cut off some space. That induced the extra step from Carmen. So the ball will go back to the Vikings on another PC turnover with 23.9 seconds left to go. Inbounds pass comes into Critchley. Critchley stepping up on top, looking and given all kinds of space. No count on against her. Now Kayla Carmen comes out to start the count. A ball fake by Critchley. Spacier takes the basketball top of the key. Nielsen off a seal, flies for 3, and it's short. Rebound deflected far corner with 5 seconds, and the ball was picked up on the far side by, I believe, Lopez. Correction, Evelyn Abunde, and she stepped on the baseline. So another ball going back to the Vikings here. Valley City State gets the basketball back with 5.8 seconds left and in the front court. Inbounds play comes in from Critchley. She takes a look underneath, cut to the basket. Spacier had a shot blocked, out of bounds to the Vikings again with 3.6 seconds left. As Spacier improves and grows into varsity speed, if you will, she'll know she'll have to get that one away a little bit sooner. Had a good look, but Nick Newell was able to close the door. Took a while to get that shot up. Inbounds pass from Critchley, looking underneath, tries to go in for Dieterle. This one just sprays off to the far sideline, and another turnover against the Vikings with 0.8 of a second left. As we'll see Presentation College trigger it in for maybe a heave if they can get it there. They won't get it there. That'll be the end of the opening quarter of basketball. A very tough offensive first quarter for Valley City State as the Vikings are limited to just 3 field goals and 6 total points. And at the end of one, on your LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard, your score is Presentation College 10 and Valley City State 6 in our women's matchup. We'll come back with second quarter basketball and some scores from around the league next after a Mobility Plus rehabilitation timeout. This is Viking basketball and the voice of the Vikings, the voice of the Valley, KOVC.
At CHI Mercy Health, we believe human kindness is at the root of all healing, providing care on a human level, courage when it's needed most, and a connection that's ever present among us all. Human kindness is meant to be shared. It puts a smile on someone's face and seeks to do the same for others. Take the time to nourish what's inside and watch your life flourish outside, because taking care of yourself is an act of human kindness. Just like human kindness, happiness can come from the most unexpected places. Whether it's from your friend, your dog, or a memory, embrace it and pass it on. CHI Mercy Health of Valley City.
Brothers 3 has the area's widest variety of classic and new ice fishing tackle at the lowest prices to give you the edge this year. Before heading out on the ice, stop in and get your live bait and tackle and fill your tank with the highest quality gas and diesel. Brothers 3 is your locally owned and operated convenience store. As always, Brothers 3 has the lowest prices in town on everything, from snacks and drinks to winter gear and propane and automotive supplies. Remember, it pays to shop at Brothers 3.
10-6 presentation at the end of the opening quarter of basketball here at the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse. We welcome you back to Viking basketball on the voice of the Vikings and the voice of the Valley, KOVC. Ryan Cunningham with you here today. The Vikings with the basketball. Allie Critchley will bring the ball into the front court. She'll give to Adriana Torres, and now J.C. Richter in the left corner. Vikings held to just 3 field goals, and we'll talk more about those first quarter numbers in a moment. Emma Nielsen on top, working left, got inside, cut off by Mo Peters. Out to Torres, wide open 3. Yes, Adriana Torres. She's having a nice weekend. That will give her 5. The first player to more than 2 for Valley City State, and right what the doctor ordered, they get the triple. They cut the Saints lead to 1 by a score of 10-9. Underneath, backdoor cut, whistle to foul coming up as Evelyn Abunde got loose inside, and Allie Critchley commits the harm. First foul of the opening quarter against the Vikings, and this will put Evelyn Abunde on the foul line for Presentation College. Opening quarter numbers, the Vikings shot 20% from the field. Now they forced 7 Presentation College turnovers. The Vikings didn't help themselves. They committed 6 of their own, but you force 7 turnovers, you think things are going to go rather well, but when you back that up with 3 of 15 shooting, no, things don't go particularly well. Abunde knocks down the front end and the back end as well, and it's now 12-9. The Vikings back down 3, 35 seconds into this opening quarter of play. And up the floor, Allie Critchley for the Vikings. J.C. Richter on the right wing taking a look in. Back to Critchley, stepping left. Comes up to the elbow. A look inside. Instead of reversal, back to Richter. She's left alone for 3. They'll come up short. Rebound deflected loose in the paint. Big scramble on for it. Down is Dieterle. Down is Critchley. Down is Abunde. Digging out the basketball is Abunde. It'll turn into a jump ball, and Presentation College will have it on the arrow. Wilhelmy will come in, replacing Allie Critchley in the Viking lineup. Valley City State showing a semblance of putting some pressure on now. Ogichita will inbound the basketball. Neck Newell comes over for it on the baseline. She'll be pressed. And now Ogichita takes it back, and Emma Nielsen will run with her into the front court. Ogichita trying to get free, stops on a behind-the-back dribble. Peters on the high post for Presentation College, right elbow. A look to the right wing, trying to set up a cut for Ogichita. Instead, Ogichita comes back on the wing to take the basketball. Back to Peters' right block, back to the basket. Coming out to get her, Taryn Dieterle. Bounce pass across the lane, intended for Newell. Picked up by Ogichita on a loose basketball. She forces one up with 3 on the shot clock, and it didn't draw iron. Torres has the basketball for the Vikings and sends it up to Wilhelmy. A long pass down low for Taryn Dieterle, ends up deflected out of bounds by the Saints. It'll stay Viking basketball. The Vikings have not been able to get the ball inside throughout the course of the day. They've tried. They had the backdoor cut early with Adriana Torres with Taryn Dieterle in the high post, but when Dieterle's been inside, it's been tough sledding to get the ball in there. Emma Nielsen dribbles off a foot, but Madison Wilhelmy is there to pick up the basketball. Torres, catch and shoot 3. That one's short. There's a Dieterle offensive rebound, stepping through a double team. Whistle and a foul coming up as Evelyn Abunde was trying to force a held ball, and instead will be called for a foul. Abunde's first. That will be team foul number 1 against the Saints here in this second quarter. Katie Johnson back in, replacing Emma Nielsen. Vanessa Johnson, the head coach of the Vikings, she's making a lot of changes quickly here. Fresh bodies, fresh looks, perhaps, trying to find the right combo as the offense been a little stagnant. Dieterle Fallaway got fouled. She's going back to the line. Maybe Peters, maybe Abunde. It's going to be Mo Peters that will pick up her second. Second against the Saints here in the quarter as well. But we've seen guards in and out of the lineup all night. Now, Ashlyn Deemert with 2 fouls. We mentioned that's going to be a bit of a little, I guess, crease in the armor, if you will, as Taryn Dieterle goes to the foul line for the Vikings and knocks down the front end. Dieterle, a good foul shooter throughout the course of the year. 78.4%, averaging 10.4 points per game. The leading scorer by a 1/10 of a point over Ashlyn Deemert. Second foul shot, rims in and out. Rebound out of the hands of Ogichida and out of bounds, and the Vikings will take over with it. Torres put a little pressure on Ogichida and perhaps forced to hurry, and Ogichida didn't secure the basketball. Kane Carmen comes onto the floor for Gabby Lopez for the Saints, and Wilhelmy will inbound the basketball for Valley City State. Wilhelmy looking underneath. Dieterle flashes open. Now Torres, hard take to the basket with the left hand, missed it. Left short, and Mo Peters will pick up a deflected rebound for Presentation College. 2-point lead for the Saints at 12-10. We're 2 minutes in to the second quarter of basketball. Neck Newell driving baseline underneath cutoff. Reverses to Kane Carmen in the right corner. Court wide left side. Ogichida from the elbow connects. Emma Ogichida from the high post left elbow has her fourth. And it's back to a 4-point lead for the Saints at 14-10. J.C. Richter into the corner. Dieterle will fly for 3. It's off the heel. The 3-point shot been non-existent for the Vikings except for the 3 hit by Torres early in the second quarter. 14-10. The Saints, with a 3-point play of their own, can force a 3-possession game here in this second quarter. Peters taking a look, backdoor to Ogichida, covered up. Adriana Torres knocked that away, and she comes up with a loose basketball to force the turnover. Torres into the front court, pressed all the way by Evelyn Abunde. Ball left for Katie Johnson and now to Madison Wilhelmy, and the Vikings will set up shop. Wilhelmy stepping right, coming back left on a crossover, bounce into Dieterle, back to the basket with Mo Peters, off to the foul line for Torres. Her shot was altered. Mo Peters trying to pick it up, and they're going to say that Dieterle knocked the ball out of bounds from behind of Mo Peters. And so this ball's going back to Presentation College. 14-10, Saints by 4. We've played nearly 13 minutes of the first half, and the Vikings have been held to 4 field goals and 1 of 2 from the foul line. Neck Newell into the front court for Presentation College. Driving, picked up by Dieterle. She'll pull up and score over her as Neck Newell comes in with the left hand. Newell has her first field goal today. The lead is 6 now at 16-10. The Vikings are going to go big on their next sub as J.C. Richter goes in. Tries, has a ball knocked loose. Emma Ogichida will take it away for the Saints. And here comes Presentation College into the front court. They can go up by 8, possibly 9. Vanessa Johnson's looking for a foul on that last take by J.C. Richter, and it looked like there was one. Peters on the right baseline, taking a look, sends it back near side for Abunde, and that's picked off from behind, taken away by Madison Wilhelmy. Wilhelmy into the front court, underneath Torres, off the glass, she'll score. Fast break off the turnover. Adriana Torres with 7, and the Vikings are back within 4 at 16-12. 6 minutes to play until halftime. Neck Newell into the front court for the Saints. Stepping up between the rings and working towards the left side. Torres there to challenge her. Ogichida, the high post, right elbow. Taking a look, Kane Carmen comes out on top. Ogichida driving right, hard take on Richter, pulls up and scores. Emma Ogichida finding her way inside. She's got a half dozen. Again, the Vikings didn't face her down in Aberdeen on Friday night last week. A 3 by Katie Johnson is no good. Evelyn Abunde with the rebound for the Saints. The lead is 6 at 18-12. Presentation College coming back into the front court, again with a chance to make this a 3-possession game. Newell a stop, Ogichida, high post, right elbow, J.C. Richter out to defender. Backdoor cut for Kane Carmen is knocked out of bounds by Katie Johnson. And the Vikings will make a change. Rosie Anderson, 6-foot freshman out of Moorhead, Minnesota, is going to come in replacing Taryn Dieterle. The Saints will get bigger as well. Grace Lapumba, a 6'2 junior from Twin Falls, Idaho, comes into the game to take over the post position, and Deja Washington has stepped in as well. 5'7 junior out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Ball on the top of the key for Abunde, knocked loose by Wilhelmy. Slid up out of bounds. It'll stay with the Saints. So both teams getting a little bigger now. Of course, Grace Lapumba is the junior, and Rosie Anderson is a freshman. They're going to be matching up with one another inside. Neck Newell off the dribble from 18 feet. Trickles off the heel, the top of the backboard, and eventually no good. And Adriana Torres runs down a loose ball rebound for the Vikings on the near side of the floor. Still 18-12 Saints. 30 points between the two teams in 15 minutes of basketball. And a post entry by Torres that was very ill-advised. Stepping in front of that was Grace Lapumba. And the Saints will come away forcing another Vikings turnover, or maybe just taking advantage of a Vikings unforced error. Lapumba inside, steps up, squares up with Anderson, steps around the rim, tried to go to Deja Washington. She was perhaps pulled down from behind on that play by Katie Johnson, and we will play through it. Loose basketball to Madison Wilhelmy, and the Vikings are back in the front court, still down 6. Inside, Torres just took a body into Newell, tried to post up and left a shot short. The rebound to Grace Lapumba, and the Saints come away with the basketball with 4:20 to play until halftime. Into the front court, Newell stepping right. Torres comes out to pressure her. Ball to the high post for Lapumba, and a reach-in foul coming up from behind, presumably against Madison Wilhelmy. Wilhelmy's first. That's just the second team foul against the Vikings in this second quarter. And we'll see the Saints holding the basketball and playing it in. One thing we haven't seen from Valley City State's offense, besides the missing 3, but also getting to the basket. It seems like the Vikings have settled for some mid-range, turned it over looking for the high-low game, but dribble to the basket, not yet. Ogichita against a double team, left that one a little short. Deja Washington flops down looking for a rebound. She was able to get it. This turns into a held ball, and this time the Vikings will get it back. Scores in progress in women's play. Bellevue with a big lead on Waldorf. That's at Bellevue. 37-18, 6:43 to play in the second quarter of basketball. And Dakota State leads Viterbo by 10 with 4:42 left in the second, 32-22. But the V-Hawks are staying close with the top-ranked team out of the North Star Athletic Association. A 3 by Torres that won't fall. Deja Washington ripped it away. Rosie Anderson tried to force a held ball, and I believe she was called for a reach-in foul. Rosie Anderson's first. That'll be the third against Valley City State. So 1 to give with 3:51 to play in the opening half. Inbounds pass Neck Newell, and it comes back to Emma Ogichita. And the Saints will walk the ball into the front court. Ogichita, crossover dribble, moving left. J.C. Richter comes out to front her. A stop back to the near side, as we'll see the ball coming back to the near wing for Evelyn Abunde. Abunde goes in, misses a layup. Rebound in and out of the hands of Grace Lapumba, and we'll go back to the Vikings. Carly Jeffrey looking for a foul as well, and it seems like both head coaches at this point feel like the game's pretty physical. They're looking for calls that are not being called, but they're not being called on both ends of the floor. It seems consistent, just consistently physical at this point. Up to the teams to adjust right now. On top, Richter, head fake to draw Nick Newell as the defender. A stop by Richter, a look in. Ball comes back near side. Torres driving baseline. She's held up on the perimeter. That'll be a reach-in foul against the Saints. The ball will stay with the Vikings. Foul will go against Evelyn Abunde, her second. Change is made by the Saints as Delana Tadalini will step back into the matchup, replacing Abunde. And the Vikings will trigger the ball back in. Inbounds pass will come in from Allie Critchley. Kick out near side. Madison Spacer back in the game. She pulls the trigger from 15 and hits it. Mid-range jump shot for Madison Spacer. She's got 4. Second leading scorer for the Vikings today. It lurches the Vikings back to within 4 at 18-14. 3 minutes and counting until halftime. Neck Newell right side. A stop off to Emma Ogichita. Post entry pass down low. Posting up is Deja Washington. Turned double pivot off the glass. She scored it. Deja Washington finding use of the pivot foot. She scores the left hand. The lead is back to 6 at 20-14. Richter a stop. Allie Critchley on the top of the key, stepping left. Hit by some top of 2-3 zone now, and Richter fires against it and scores. J.C. Richter out on the perimeter, recognizing the zone, takes the three-point shot, hits it, and the Vikings have cut the lead back to 3, 20-17 on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard with 2:20 to play until halftime. Ogichita right elbow, stepping up, looking at the basket. A flow in, a kick out to Neck Newell. She'll go down to the block. Abunde turning, correction, not Abunde. Lapumba turning, ends up missing the shot. There is a rebound battle and a travel as Deja Washington came down with it and lost her footing. Back to the Vikings goes the basketball with 2:08 to go. Just kind of looking at the communication between players and head coach Carly Jeffrey for the Saints. I think they're saying the Vikings are pushing after they come down with a rebound and not getting the whistle against them. I didn't see it. On the right side, Richter driving to the elbow, pulls up on a jump shot, misses the runner. Rebound battle on the floor. Spacier was able to get it. The Vikings tried to call timeout, didn't get it done. They came away with the basketball. There's a foul on the floor after J.C. Richter pulled the ball up and scored off the glass. And all of that may have been avoided had the timeout been granted the Vikings, but instead we'll see a foul against Presentation College Neck Newell. Last one to give for the Saints. They're in the penalty the remainder of the way. Critchley to Torres on the inbounds pass from the foul line. Turnaround jumper strong off the heel. And Newell has the board for the Saints with 1:35 to play until halftime. Newell steps up top. Little stop and go dribble against Torres. Into Ogitchit on the right elbow. I'll look to the right side. Ogitchit down to the baseline against the double team. Left it short. Rebound in and out of the hands of Lapumba. It comes down now this time to Spacier. And a foul coming up on the rebound. And let's see what we're going to have here. There's going to be a foul, it would appear, against Vikings' Allie Critchley. That'll be her second personal foul. And it was a very late whistle that results in a shot, or rather a foul on the shot. So you can understand why it's a little difficult to absorb. That shot took place. There was a battle going on for the rebound when the whistle was blown. And so normally you'd see that whistle much sooner. We didn't expect this one to be a shooting foul. Deja Washington is on her way to the foul line, a 52.9% foul shooter. The first one rolls in for her, and that'll give her 3 today. 21-17, the Saints back up by 4 with 1:23 to play until the break. And Washington will have a look at number 2. She's a lefty. This one's on the way and also good. So 52.9%, but Deja Washington 2 of 2 the line. Vikings back down 5, 22-17. 1:15 to play until the break. Left side, Madison Spacier. J.C. Richter on top, a stop. Spacier pulls the trigger for 3. It's off the front rim. Rebound deflected loose by Torres and out of bounds. It'll go back to Presentation College. Looking at the Viking lineup right now, in a 5-point game, they've got 1 starter in the game. Now they're going to get to 2. So Taryn Dieterle will come in for this last minute 9 seconds, but clearly Vanessa Johnson is searching for an answer here for the Vikings, searching for something that will spark the offense. At that point, there was just 1 starter in the game. The Vikings down 5. They have been able to hold their own defensively, but they have not been able to find the right answer to score buckets today. Neck Newell from the foul line pulls up and hits a 13-footer running in. Neck Newell will extend now the biggest lead of the game for Presentation College. 7-point mark at 24-17. 5 points for Neck Newell tonight. Spacier looking out top of the key. J.C. Richter to Madison Wilhelmy. A right corner 3. That's good for Madison Wilhelmy. Lead cut to 4 at 24-20. The Vikings can get the basketball back. The differential is about 4.5, nearly 5 seconds. Neck Newell into the front court for Presentation. A spin on the top of the key, looking for a screen from Grace Lapumba. Back to the basket again, well out beyond the arc, trying to set a plan. And Adriana Torres giving her some space to let her go. Shot clock at 7. A spin move on top. A look left side by Newell. Hard take to the baseline. Pulls up and it rolls in for Neck Newell. She set her shot. She's got 7. The Vikings with 1 second to go and a half-court heave from Madison Wilhelmy short. And a tough first half offensively for Valley City State has them down by a 6-point margin as we go to the locker room here at the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse. Presentation College with a 6-point lead after a half of play. Your score on the LaRue Laco Financial Scoreboard is Presentation College 26 and Valley City State 20. We'll come back with your halftime report brought to you by Rambo. We're in the business of making you look good. This is Viking basketball on the voice of the Vikings and the voice of the Valley.
Hey college students, are you looking for a part-time job that works around your schedule, pays well, and gives you free money for college every year? McDonald's offers all of it. We can work around your schedule, and we give $2,500 scholarships to everyone who works for 3 months and averages 15 hours per week. That's 2 full shifts a week or 3 shifts of 5 hours. It's that easy. We've already given out more than $75,000 to students in North Dakota this year. Let us help you become the next scholarship recipient. Come join our team. Text ND29 to 38000 to apply today.
All your financial professionals.
You live life on the move. While you determine what direction that may be, we're here to help along the way. So go. Go with values. Go with friends. Go with support. Go with convenience.
Real Estate Brokerage is cheering for the home team. Listen to KOVC for the Ivy Real Estate Group Player of the Game following every Valley City Highliner and VCSU Vikings game.
Don't leave your wiring to chance. Plug into your #1 electrical source, Highline Electric. They're the experts in residential, commercial, and industrial electrical work. No cutting corners at Highline Electric. Call 845-0731. They'll give you a free estimate before any work is done. Family owned since 1986 with Chad and Tracy Zahn. And I promise, the price won't shock you. Highline Electric in Valley City. Call 845-0731. Building a reputation of integrity and quality.
No matter where you live, you should have access to high-quality health care. Jamestown Regional Medical Center's orthopedic and sports medicine team offers care for hips, shoulders, knees, and toes. When an injury occurs, teams need care quickly. That's why the JRMC orthopedic team promises same-day and next-day appointments. Schedule direct at jrmcnd.com or call 952-4878.
Jamestown Regional Medical Center will never stop building for you.
We welcome you back to the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse. Viking basketball today versus Presentation College, and the Saints have come marching in. Valley City State trailing by a score of 26-20 at the end of the first half of basketball as the winless in the conference. Presentation College Saints, only one win on the season, found a way to really stymie the Viking offense in that first half of play, and the Vikings will be challenged as they get into the locker room trying to find the right answer. Halftime report brought to you by Rambo. We're in the business of making you look good as you hear a Viking drumline performing for the crowd here today, and I have a feeling it's going to be a really, really good presentation. They'll play some bingo after that, and we're getting set for what should be a fun second half of basketball. And then, of course, the men's matchup to wrap up the day here today as the Viking men tried to back up that big win over Mayville State last night, the first team in the league to knock off the Comets were the Viking men last night. Let's take a look at these first half numbers brought to you by Rambo. Again, we're in the business of making you look good. Rambo is a great place to look for your promotional products, so make sure you check Rambo when you're looking for your promotional items. Presentation College turned it over 11 times in the opening half, but the Vikings shot pretty badly. Now, we do not have, it doesn't look like, game numbers. They have they're going to give us first half numbers here. Okay, that's good. All right, we got it. Okay. It looked like the numbers hadn't been changed since the quarter. The Comets, or rather the Saints, shot 47.6% from the field in the opening half, and the Vikings shot 25.8%. So you're outshot by 22 percentage points on your home floor in the opening half of basketball. Hard to imagine. The Vikings had 10 more opportunities. They were 8 of 31. Presentation College was 10 of 21. That includes 3 of 15 for the Vikings from the three-point line. Presentation College took 1-3 and hit it. Foul shots kind of negligible, 5 of 6 for Presentation, 1 of 2 for the Vikings. The rebounding battle won by PC, 20-15. The Vikings did have 6 offensive rebounds. It's just when you have 6 offensive rebounds and you force 11 turnovers, you feel like this thing's going in your direction. However, when you shoot 25.8% from the field, it's just not going in your direction. And Presentation College got 18 of their 26 points from the bench or inside the lane for Valley City State, and that's something that the Vikings will have to address. Even though they did a pretty good job defensively, the Vikings only had 9 points in the paint in that first half of play. Individual numbers, Presentation College is led by Nick Newell, 7 points, 2 rebounds. Emma Ogitchita, 6 points, 3 rebounds. Again, the Vikings did not see Emma Ogitchita 2 Friday nights ago down in Aberdeen. She's their leading scorer. She's in the lineup today. Kanae Carmen off the bench with 5 points and 2 boards. Deja Washington, 4 points, 3 boards, also off the bench. Evelyn Abunde with a bucket and a rebound as well. For the Vikings, Adriana Torres backing up 22 last night. She's got 7 tonight to go with 2 rebounds. Madison Spacier with 4. Madison Wilhelmy, J.C. Richter each with 3. Ashlyn Deemert with 2 and a single for Taryn Dieterle. And that's where the Vikings scoring wraps up. 26-20 in favor of Presentation College at the end of the opening half of play. And those are your halftime numbers. They're brought to you by Rambo. We're in the business of making you look good. Drumline wrapping up performance here that you heard in the background. As we took a look at those halftime numbers, we'll take a break. We'll come back and get you ready for men's basketball tonight as the Vikings are set to take on Mayville State in the 5 o'clock affair here at the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse. At the break, your score on the LaRue Laco Financial Scoreboard, the Saints 26, the Vikings 20. This is Viking basketball, the voice of the Vikings and the voice of the Valley, KOVC.
Grotberg Electric believes in quality first, taking pride in the work and standing behind every project they do. They bring together the power, technology, and experience to keep your business online. The success of Grotberg Electric depends on 3 major ideals: the quality of their products, the commitment to their customers, and most of all, their customer service. Call Grotberg Electric today at 845-3010 or visit them online, grotbergelectric.com.
This is Amy Heim, nurse practitioner with Sanford Health. Well child checks are important visits for children of every age. Yearly well child checks are recommended for children 3 and older and more frequently for those younger than 3. It is at these visits that growth, development, and preventative care are addressed in an effort to keep children as healthy as possible. Recommended immunizations are also discussed and provided at these visits. Call 742-3267 to schedule at your local Sanford Health Clinic in Ellendale, Foreman, Gwinner, Lemoore, Lisbon, or Oaks.
Central Avenue Health Mart Pharmacy, your community Health Mart pharmacy, is here to serve your healthcare needs. During the month of January, take 10% off all Health Mart and Sunmark products. The flu and cold season has hit us hard. For all your healthcare needs and prescriptions, see your trusted healthcare resource, Central Avenue Health Mart Pharmacy, downtown Valley City, where they know you by name. Health Mart, taking time to listen and care.
Ivy Real Estate Group, your locally owned real estate brokerage, is cheering for the home team. Listen to KOVC for the Ivy Real Estate Group Player of the Game following every Valley City Highliner and VCSU Vikings game.
Some Viking alumni being acknowledged as women's athletes here in front of the crowd this afternoon to keep things moving with our halftime report as the Vikings trail Presentation College 26-20 at halftime as we continue with our coverage of Viking basketball today here on the voice of the Vikings and the voice of the Valley. KOVC men's play coming up. Presentation College 0-8 in the league thus far. They've got 5 wins. They've been in some scrapes and have been close. The Viking men trying to back up a 102-98 victory last night over Mayville State. They became the first team to beat the Comets in conference basketball this year. Join us for that coming up at 5 o'clock. We'll have a pregame about 10 minutes before tip-off right here at the Voice of the Valley, KOVC. More of our halftime report is on the way. The Vikings trailing the Saints by a score of 26-20. We'll continue with halftime next.
This is Dr. Ryan Lorenz, physical therapist at Mobility Plus Rehabilitation, with offices in Enderlin, Lisbon, Gwinner, and Valley City. Our mission is to provide exceptional physical and occupational therapy by highly skilled therapists to minimize pain and maximize mobility, which quickly allows you to return to the quality of life you desire. We will evaluate and educate you on your condition, review treatment options, and create an effective treatment plan to solve your impairments based on your unique situation and needs. I invite you to call our offices at Mobility Plus today.
This is Hannah Wieland, a freshman at Valley City State University. The V500 scholarship members' generosity and commitment is exactly the kind of community involvement we need to keep VCSU going strong. The many scholarships provided are a testament to the support of the alumni, family, and friends of VCSU. Please keep expanding the opportunities available to enhance the lives of the next generation and make a difference for attracting future Vikings by supporting scholarships online at give.vcsu.edu or by calling the VCSU Foundation.
Did you know that January is National Bath Safety Month? Here are some ways to stay safe in your bathroom from Smith Lumber Home Center. Install non-slip mats in the bath, add safety handles, add lights, install a step in the tub, add ADA accessories, child-proof the bathroom, or maybe it's a new toilet. And Smith Lumber Home Center has all kinds of toilets, including soft close and bidet seats. Keep your home safe with Smith Lumber Home Center, East Main, Valley City.
Welcome back to the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse here at Valley City State University. Men out there taking their shoot around before we get ready for the start of our men's matchup. And women will return to play here in a couple of moments. The Viking women trailing Presentation College by a score of 26-20 here at halftime. Again, for those of you that missed it, news and notes this week, the NAIA is considering a plan to expand their football playoff format, which would be a good one for a lot of teams around the country. We're told by Dennis McCulloch, the athletic director and head football coach at Valley City State, that out of a committee of coaches, a plan has passed that would expand the NAIA playoff field to 20 teams from its current 16. And with those 20 teams, all 13 conferences would now be guaranteed a spot in the NAIA football playoffs. Normally, in order to get in the playoffs, you'd have to win your league and also be ranked in the top 20 to secure a spot, and then you would be bumping an at-large team that's ranked up somewhere in the top 16. But if this plan passes, that will not be the case. All 13 playing conferences for football in the NAIA would be guaranteed a spot in the NAIA football playoffs, and 7 at-large teams would join them for your field of 20 that would make their way into the NAIA football playoffs. And so with that, they'll be acting on that in April, and should it pass, it would go into effect immediately for the 2023 football season. Now, of course, with Presentation College's closure, we're talking about that today with PC being in the gym for basketball, the Vikings are shopping for some games. We've been told that they've added South Dakota Mines, an old Dakota Athletic Conference foe, now a Division II school in Rapid City, to their football schedule for next year. But a couple of games down, as Presentation College was on the schedule twice, and with the closure of Presentation College, the Vikings will now have to go looking for a team or two to play. So we'll see how that works out for Valley City State going forward. The Viking women are back on the floor. Those are some news and notes. It's 26-20. The Vikings currently trailing Presentation College by 6. Some halftime scores to pass along from some other games that are going on out there. They're all the way down to 3:17 left of the third. Down in Madison, Dakota State leading Viterbo 44-28 in women's basketball. And at the break, Bellevue has a huge lead on Waldorf, 53-27. Bellevue on top of Waldorf by 26. That game is at halftime. Here it's 26-20. The Saints lead the Vikings by a half dozen as we get set to start second half play, which we'll do next. This is Viking basketball and the voice of the Vikings and the voice of the Valley, KOVC. Our Rambo halftime report concludes next.
You don't want to fumble it away with these two events. Valley Meat Supply has you covered for the big game on February 12th and Valentine's Day on February 14th. Take care of your football crowd with meat and cheese trays and appetizers. And for the sweetheart on Valentine's Day, how about those thick, juicy steaks, along with seafood like lobster, crab legs, shrimp, and scallops? For the big game, Valentine's Day, or anytime, remember Valley Meat Supply, West Main, Valley City.
At Bank Forward, we focus on building relationships. Hi, I'm Kara Weep with Bank Forward in Valley City. Whether it's opening a checking account, saving for college, or starting your own business, Bank Forward is the bank big enough to help, but we're small enough to know your name. Call 845-1220 or visit bankforward.com today. Striving to be the bank that defines customer service since 1927. It's simply the Forward way. Bank Forward, member FDIC.
Now is the time, now is the time.
Stay with us in our post-game report as we will select our Ivy Real Estate Group Player of the Game Award winner. That award acknowledges an outstanding performance by a Viking in today's contest, and it's brought to you by Ivy Real Estate Group, your locally owned real estate brokerage in Valley City. Second half about to begin, and the Vikings are trying to find a fix for their offensive ails, scoring just 20 points in the opening half of basketball. They trail by 6, 26-20 to Presentation College. The Vikings shot 25.8% in the first half. Presentation College looking for their first conference victory of the year, just their second win of the season. And right now the Vikings are trying to find a way to jumpstart things to start this second half of play. Mo Gitcheda triggers it into Nick Newell, and the Saints now moving from right to left as we start the second half. Newell drifting left, hard take to the baseline, then tried to kick it out. There's nobody home, and Newell's going to be called for an offensive foul anyway. She went in hard on Allie Critchley, who cut off the baseline. Nick Newell has her second personal foul, and the Vikings will get the basketball back with a chance to start chiseling in to this 6-point Presentation College lead. Torres inbounds, and it's brought up on the top of the key for the Vikings by Allie Critchley. Ashlyn Deemer back to the top for Torres. Critchley on the right side looks in. Deemer went in the post. Ball comes out to Haley Roberts. A three from the top of the key. Trickles off the front iron. Newell comes down with the rebound and is able to secure. So the Vikings shooting woes from the outside continue. They were 3 of 15 from beyond the arc in the opening half of basketball. Didn't hit one in the opening quarter. Newell looking near side, comes back towards the wing for Emma Ogichita on the left. Ogichita with a left-hand dribble trying to beat Deemer. Pulls up from 18, hits off the dribble. Another bucket for Emma Ogichita. She's got 8 to lead all scorers now, and the lead is 8 for Presentation College, their biggest lead of the day at 28-20. Ball top of the key, Allie Critchley to Haley Roberts on the right side. A stop back to the top, and Critchley ball faking and then off to Deemer on the left wing and back to Critchley again. A three by Critchley from the top. That one's short, and a chance now for the Saints to open up a 10-plus point lead on this trip up the floor. Newell will step through in the middle. She's confronted by Torres high. Ball to Mo Peters, broken up by Taryn Dieterle, coming out to confront the high post. Dieterle's off to the races and will score on the take and break. First field goal for Taryn Dieterle today. We'll see if that's the spark plug that can get things moving for the Vikings. They're back within 6 at 28-22. Kayla Carmen, Mo Peters fouled. Adriana Torres trying to step in on Mo Peters' elbow jumper. Ends up getting on the arm and getting called for a foul. First for Torres, and it will put Mo Peters at the foul line. And Mo Peters, for a post, 5'11", a junior, very good foul shooter, comes in at 87.5% from the foul line for the Saints this season. Her first is no good. How about that? You dress it up, and then they come up empty. Sometimes you can, hex them a little bit, and they're the opposition, so you try that. Peters, second foul shot on the way. That one is good. It rolls in off the back rim, and the lead is back to 7 for the Saints at 29-22. Critchley into the front court for Valley City State. Right side, Haley Roberts fronted. We'll see a foul coming up against Delana Tadalini. And if you could read facial expressions, Tadalini was not appreciative of that call. She felt like at that point, that might have been a little light. You could tell that her face kind of curled up on that one. Dieterle inside. Peters coming out to front her. Dieterle falling, trying to secure a loose basketball. Ball ends up out of bounds. Emma Ogichita was the last to touch it as she got into a battle with Allie Critchley. Ball will stay Viking basketball. And the Vikings a little late to step beyond the baseline to throw it in. It will be Critchley that does the job as Vanessa Johnson walks down the bench. Head Vikings coach trying to talk to the rest of the team here to get something going. Dieterle from the foul line. Jumper good. Taryn Dieterle stepping into a jump shot just inside the foul line and scoring. Vikings back within 5 at 29-24. Need a stop in the worst way here. Stop and a conversion brings us down to a one-possession game. Newell, right side, Kayla Carmen for 3 is off the heel. There's the stop. Dieterle comes up with a rebound for the Vikings. Critchley looking up the floor, surveying options. To the top, drifting left, hard take, baseline, blocking foul. And Critchley's going to the foul line, and Delana Tadalini is slow to get up. She was hit hard in the first half as well and was slow to get up then, but appeared to be okay. This time, she is not coming to her feet. Jeffrey, the head coach of the Saints, will come onto the floor, but Tadalini has the Viking training staff coming over. They're tending to, I believe, her left leg, and the Saints have already checked in what will be the replacement, Evelyn Abunde. Tadalini's minutes were limited, and she got the start tonight in the opening half, but limited to 9 minutes and 19 seconds in the first half of play. So you wonder if, as a starter, maybe nursing a bit of an injury that they're trying to manage gingerly, and then took that hit and ends up crumpling to the floor. And now we will wait and see what her status is going to be as they tend to her underneath the Viking basket. We will take a pause for Mobility Plus rehabilitation with 7:48 to play in the third. The Vikings trailing the Saints 29-24. They'll be in possession of the basketball when we continue. This is Viking basketball on the voice of the Vikings and the voice of the Valley, KOVC.
At CHI Mercy Health, we believe human kindness is at the root of all healing, providing care on a human level, courage when it's needed most, and a connection that's ever present among us all. Human kindness is meant to be shared. It puts a smile on someone's face and seeks to do the same for others. Take the time to nourish what's inside and watch your life flourish outside, because taking care of yourself is an act of human kindness. Just like human kindness, happiness can come from the most unexpected places. Whether it's from your friend, your dog, or a memory, embrace it and pass it on. CHI Mercy Health of Valley City.
Well, Carly Jeffrey and the Viking training staff helping Delana Tadalini off to the near sideline. That looks like she's going to be going down into the locker room for further work, or at least out to a table for further work, under the tent, if you will, if you're an NFL fan. And so they brought her off without putting any weight at all on her left leg. And so that might be a tough injury for Delana Tadalini. In the meantime, Allie Critchley will shoot foul shots for the Vikings. They trail by 5, 29-24. And it's just worth mentioning, with the cloud of Presentation College closing hanging over their games, a season-ending injury could be a career-ending injury at this point. And Tadalini is a junior, so you'd have a chance to go play someplace else. But if you found your home at Presentation College and you're injured, do you find another home someplace else? And that's something that really is going to hang over every game that Presentation College plays to finish their season. Both foul shots in for Allie Critchley, who's a 39% foul shooter. She somehow found her way to it. We're going to see a jump ball coming up. The Vikings are able to force a held ball with Emma Ogichida on the top of the key, taking some pressure. Valley City State will get the basketball back. They're back within 3, a score of 29-26. Ashlyn Deemer tying up a wheel. And now we'll see the Vikings inbounding the basketball, but this is a chance. The Vikings cut the lead to 1 or tie after they went down by as many as 8. Critchley into Dieterle, high post, back out to Critchley, eye to 3, drives left instead, steps back out to the elbow, kicks back to Haley Roberts. Roberts from 15 feet, jumper's good. Haley Roberts off the dribble, hitting the mid-range. The Vikings are back within 1 at 29-28. Little 8-0, or rather 8-1 run for the Vikings since going down by that biggest Saints lead of 28-20. Kayla Carmen on the top of the key for Presentation. Mo Peters, high post left side, taking a look. Ogichida comes over to the top of the key. Peters will give it to Ogichida, but it took a while to get that exchange to take place. Ogichida dribbling into the screen, firing from 18 and scoring. Ogichida now with a double-figure night. She's got 10 on 5 field goals. Lead back to 3 at 31-28 Saints. Haley Roberts a stop. A look on the near side for Taryn Dieterle trying to get a shot away, and she will apparently be fouled by Evelyn Abunde. Is this on the shot? We'll find out. Foul. No, actually, correction, they're going to give this to Lopez. No, Lopez isn't on the floor. They're going to have to talk that one through. That must have been Abunde that got that foul, and that's what they're going to ask. Should have been 24. Yeah, it should have been Evelyn Abunde. But now a couple of officials are going to get together to talk it over. Brady Schwab, one of our officials, showed 21 to the table, but it was Evelyn Abunde that got the foul. It was 24 that picked up the call, so now they're going to have to talk that through. And, yep, that's what they got. They got 24. They're able to pick that one up. So Evelyn Abunde will pick up the foul, and that will be her 3rd personal foul. The Vikings will inbound. So now you start taking a look. You've got Delana Tadalini, who's getting some repair right now. May not be able to play. Evelyn Abunde with 3 fouls. And so things start to tighten up a little bit for the Saints and their rotation also. And now we have a conversation going on between Viking head coach Vanessa Johnson and the officiating crew as to why this foul was not on the shot. And I believe that it was, but we'll see. So the 3 officials will get together to talk this one over as well with 6:44 to go. Or are they going to set the shot clock? Is that what they're doing? Okay, well, they're going to change the shot clock to 21 seconds. I'm not sure that's what Vanessa Johnson was asking for, but nonetheless, okay. Inbounds pass comes in. Ashlyn Deemer on the right side. Looks down to Torres, back to the basket, spinning free of Kayla Carmen, but Carmen got back in and picked her pocket. Now Carmen's on the floor and travel with the basketball, but no place to get rid of it, and the ball will go back to Valley City State. It's been like this all day. If you're just joining us, it has been this lurching back and forth type of struggle offensively for both teams, but more so for the Vikings, probably expecting to be a little better than this on their home floor. Dieterle inside, backing up with Peters. Stop, reversal to Adriana Torres, and a 3 on the way ties the game. Adriana Torres continues a great weekend. She's got 10 here tonight, second 3 to go down. She had 22 yesterday against Mayville State, and we're back to even. It's the Vikings and the Saints knotted up at 31. Post entry to Mo Peters, denied by Dieterle again. She forces a turnover. Ashlyn Deemer, the Euro, the right hand, left hand scoop. She goes to basket and scores. Ashlyn Deemer getting up the floor and scoring. The Vikings have the lead, and the Saints will call for timeout. A Mobility Plus rehabilitation timeout with 6:03 left in the third, and the Vikings are back in front, 33-31 on the LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard. We'll come back with more in a couple of moments. This is Viking basketball on the voice of the Vikings and the voice of the Valley, KOVC.
Brothers 3 has the area's widest variety of classic and new ice fishing tackle at the lowest prices to give you the edge this year. Before heading out on the ice, stop in and get your live bait and tackle and fill your tank with the highest quality gas and diesel. Brothers 3 is your locally owned and operated convenience store. As always, Brothers 3 has the lowest prices in town on everything, from snacks and drinks to winter gear and propane and automotive supplies. Remember, it pays to shop at Brothers 3.
6:03 left of the third. The Vikings finding a bit of a roll. They lead by a score of 33-31. The Saints have called for timeout. During the timeout, their injured guard, Delana Tadalini, has come back to the bench. It looks like she may be able to get back in. They're checking her right now to see what her status could be going forward, but that's a good result at least for now. Mo Peters out on top. Haley Roberts picked the ball away, but they're going to call a foul on Haley Roberts trying to take that away from Faith Abunde. Haley Roberts with her third, or correction, Evelyn Abunde, I should say. Haley Roberts does pick up her third foul. The Vikings thought they had a clean breakaway on that one. Instead, the Saints will re-inbound the basketball. Down 2, inbounds pass to Nick Newell. Adriana Torres comes out to greet her. Newell will step up on the top of the key, works towards the left. That left shoulder is the shoulder that she has heavily bandaged, but has played well with throughout the course of the day. Peters, right baseline looking in, wheels it down, trying to find Ogichida in the post. This is out of bounds off of Viking, and it will stay Saints basketball. Carly Jeffrey looking for a call inside. It's been a physical game, and that's been one of the reasons perhaps why both teams have really struggled trying to find their role. Ogichida catch and shoot off the inbounds pass, strong off the heel. Taryn Dieterle runs down the rebound, and this will be brought back to Adriana Torres, who runs into the front court, finds Critchley looking left. Diemert driving baseline underneath, trying to go reverse, missed it short. Rebound Evelyn Abunde for presentation, and the Saints come out with a basketball, still trailing by 2 to the Vikings. A stop, Abunde, high court-wide pass to Emma Ogichida. She'll drive baseline, kicks out left side. Kayla Carmen, hard take in, little float over the front of the rim, ties the game. Kayla Carmen cutting in from the left and scoring her fourth. We're even at 33. Roberts the other way out to Torres. A stop by Torres trying to play the ball back to the perimeter. She'll dribble away from pressure now, and a whistle, a timeout taken by Valley City State. So the Vikings will call for a stoppage with 4:47 left to go in the third. Even game at 33-33 on the LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard, and Emma Ogichida is limping her way to the bench for Presentation College. We have a Mobility Plus rehabilitation timeout. This is Viking basketball, the voice of the Vikings and the voice of the Valley, KOVC.
Did you know that January is National Bath Safety Month? Here are some ways to stay safe in your bathroom from Smith Lumber Home Center. Install non-slip mats in the bath. Add safety handles. Add lights. Install a step in the tub. Add ADA accessories. Child-proof the bathroom, or maybe it's a new toilet. And Smith Lumber Home Center has all kinds of toilets, including soft close and bidet seats. Keep your home safe with Smith Lumber Home Center, East Main, Valley City.
Are you on the right financial path? Are all your financial professionals on the same page? At LaRue Lockout Financial, you can be assured that your investment professional and tax professional are working together. Call Ryan LaRue at 701-845-6938 or James M. Lockout at CPA 701-845-1660. Services offered through Investment Advisors, a division of Pro Equities Incorporated, a registered investment advisor, and securities offered through Pro Equities Incorporated, a registered broker-dealer and member FINRA and SIPC.
As we get back into action, Ashlyn Deemer to drive to the basket for the Vikings off of the Viking timeout. She'll pick up a foul from Nick Newell for Presentation College. And it's Ashlyn Deemert going to the foul line on Newell's third personal. Welcome back to Viking basketball. 4:40 left of the third. This one's not going to win any beauty contests. We're tied at 33. This is a grinded out affair for both teams. On the back end of a conference weekend, Deemert's first foul shot is good. Ashlyn Deemert with 5. Limited opportunities for Deemert today due to foul trouble. Ashlyn, sophomore out of West Fargo, North Dakota, has had a good run in the second half of the year. Vikings take the lead, and now they'll lead by 2 as Deemert connects on both ends. She has 6. 35-33. The Saints have sent Paula Bernal, Rodrigue Alvarez back into the matchup during the break, and also Kane Carmen as well. Neck Newell front court, a stop, pulls up on Dieterle, misses a foul line jump shot. Allie Critchley the rebound. Madison Spacer and J.C. Richter came back in for the Vikings during the break. A stop by Critchley, kick out. Diemert wide open three, yes! Ashlyn Diemert now with 9. The Vikings finding a shot to go from the perimeter. We've got a whistle to foul. Allie Critchley trying to pressure Kane Carmen into the front court, and Critchley will be called for her third. Meredith Dumas will step onto the floor, replacing Taryn Dieterle in the post, and now Madison Wilhelmy will come on to take the place of Allie Critchley from the guard position. Deja Washington will inbound the basketball for Presentation College. Washington ready. Newell comes out to take it. Spacer coming out to defend her. And Newell will walk her way back to the middle of the floor. A stop into Mo Peters. High post, went back door to Paula Bernal, Rodrigue Alvarez, and threw it away. You know, one thing you can see as well, particularly from the Saints, the infirmary has been busy. Ogichida's hurt. Tadalini is hurt. Deja Washington is injured. Evelyn Abunde is injured. Neck Newell is injured. I mean, there is a lot of issues with injury on that team, and the Vikings have some of the same problems as we see J.C. Richter getting inside and being fouled on her way to the basket. She'll go to the foul line, hit by Deja Washington. The Vikings are playing without Allie Nagin right now, a 5'11 senior from Mountain Iron, Minnesota, who is a very nice go-to player for some size, but apparently a fracture in her foot. She's been walking around in a walking cast, and I'm not sure what her status will be going forward. But you have that. Allie Critchley's played with a knee issue throughout the course of the season as well. Haley Roberts may have been shaken up a bit. Second foul shot for Richter. Neither will go. J.C. Richter leaves them both empty, and it remains a 38-33 lead for Valley City State. And they've taken this lead rather quietly after falling behind by a score of 28-20 earlier in the opening half. Drive by Newell to the basket, missed it. Rebound, Rodrigue Alvarez. A putback won't go, and the next rebound is out of bounds off of a Saint. And this will go back to the Vikings. The Vikings were down 28-20. This is an 18-5 run for Valley City State that has eclipsed something like 5 or 6 minutes of gameplay. On top, ball with Ashlyn Diemert for the Vikings. Hands it away. Stop. Spacer. Not square up with the basket. Took a jumper from the top of the key and missed it. And the rebound comes down inside with Evelyn Abunde for Presentation College. Abunde on the right side, a stop, a kick out. Deja Washington, ball faking, working hard to the basket. Lefty goes up over the rim and missed it. Wilhelmy comes away with the rebound for Valley City State. She'll look into the front court. Spacer this time set for three. Left it short. Rebound loose inside. It's on the floor. Dumas is on the floor. Washington's on the floor. And both are a little sluggish to get up. It's going to be a held ball. Arrow's going to get this back to Presentation College. We mentioned Spacer on a jump shot a couple of shots ago. She kind of took that with her leg scissored. You can see her beginning to pick up the speed of the game. And when you start to rush a few things, that means you're beginning to pick up the speed of the game. It doesn't look like progress, but it is. And Madison's been a solid player to go to in her freshman year. She's got a hard nose for defense, as you're seeing right now. She bodies up with one of the more physical players that she's going to go up against in Neck Newell. Took some shots and stayed on top of her. Eventually gets called for the foul. Spacer's first. That'll be the fourth against the Vikings. So the penalty the rest of the way for both teams for the final 2:53 of the third quarter. Inbounds pass comes into Newell, jab stepping left, working off a screen from Mo Peters, comes to a stop, back out to Evelyn Abunde. She traveled, and this will go right back into the hands of the Vikings. 38-33, Valley City State, again on an 18-5 run that seems like it started a game ago. It's been a long time since we started counting up those points, but slowly but surely the Vikings have tried to stretch things out. They lead now by 5. Again, the biggest lead of the night was an 8-point lead for Presentation College at the beginning of this run. Richter bodying up with Deja Washington. Can't find the angle, kicks to Dumas, driving baseline, trying to kick it in for Spacer in the lane. It's loose on the floor, and Paula Bernal, Rodrigue Alvarez came up with a basketball, and now they're going to whistle a foul against Ashlyn Diemert. Diemert argues her case. Apparently she and the official involved were not on the same page in that discussion. The Saints are going to walk the length of the floor and shoot foul shots, and Diemert has her third personal foul. That will replace her. Emma Nielsen comes on to take her spot on the floor. And Paula Bernal, Rodrigue Alvarez I think that's the most fun name I've had to say all year on the women's side of things. She'll go to the line. Barcelona, Spain native. First foul shot is no good. And you can tell in the international game they coach that foul shot differently. That foul shot gets way up there. I mean, that reaches the height of the shot clock. Second foul shot is good. She made it. Paula Bernal, Rodrigue Alvarez, their first point today. Lead cut to 4 at 38-34. With 2.5 to go on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard, the Vikings by 4. Dumas left corner, swinging top of the key. Richter, Wilhelmy took a look, steps left off the dribble, played it back out to the perimeter. Richter's able to run it down. Shot clock at 10. It went loose. Richter driving right, a stop into the corner for Dumas. Shot clock at 7 seconds. Inside finding Wilhelmy. Foul coming up. Evelyn Abunde from behind of Madison Wilhelmy. And that's going to put Wilhelmy on the foul line. Abunde's got 4. So now Nick Newell with 3, Abunde with 4, and Emma Ogichida injured. We haven't seen her on the floor here much in the second half of this third quarter. She came out injured. Tadalini came out injured. And so, yeah, this rotation for the Saints is getting a little thin. Madison Wilhelmy's first foul shot won't fall. And it remains a Viking 4-point lead at 38-34. Wilhelmy's second makes it a 5-point lead. Wilhelmy knocks down her fourth today. Kayla Carmen back in. Gabby Lopez back in for the Saints. Evelyn Abunde will sit. Deza Washington will take a chair as well. Rodrigue Alvarez will inbound and finds Nick Newell. And with 2 minutes left of the third, Saints in the front court down 5 to the Vikings. Newell spinning her back to the basket, fronted by Wilhelmy. She'll move off towards the right, then steps away from pressure and takes a look at the Viking D, which may be in a bit of a zone right now. Looks like 2-1-2. Backdoor Lopez off the glass. She beats it and scores. First 2 for Gabby Lopez, and the Viking lead is cut to 3 at 39-36. Taryn Dieterle will get an appearance on the next dead ball. Wilhelmy flies for 3, squaring up and missing. Lopez the rebound for the Saints. She finds Mo Peters in the backcourt. Now Newell, and Newell into the front court with a chance to cut the lead to 1 or tie for Presentation College. Newell on top, stepping. Peters, right elbow, fronted by Meredith Dumas. Peters squares up, back near side for Newell. Spatial comes out to get her, giving her left hand. Peters will take it to the right and pulls up from 18 feet. She sinks that, and the lead is down to 1. Mo Peters, the post player, stretching some range. And correction, this game is tied. Now they've changed it, 39-38. The Viking lead is 1 for Valley City State. Richter for 3 is short. Newell the rebound, and the Saints have a chance to go hunting for the lead back at the end of 3 quarters. Newell inside, pulling up and scoring from 5 on the run. She's got 9. The Vikings down 1 at 40-39 with 45 seconds left to go in the third quarter. And we'll see Vanessa Johnson use a timeout to get a couple of players in Taryn Dieterle and Adriana Torres back into the game. Timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation. A 40-39 Presentation College lead on our scoreboard, brought to you by LaRue Laco Financial. We will come back with the finish of this third quarter next. This is Viking basketball on the voice of the Vikings and the voice of the Valley, KOVC.
Grotberg Electric believes in quality first, taking pride in the work and standing behind every project they do. They bring together the power, technology, and experience to keep your business online. The success of Grotberg Electric depends on 3 major ideals: the quality of their products, the commitment to their customers, and most of all, their customer service. Call Grotberg Electric today at 845-3010 or visit them online, grotbergelectric.com.
40.6 seconds. The Vikings with 25 to shoot, trailing the Saints now 40-39. The Vikings had gone up 38-33 on what was an 18-5 run, and now it's a 7-1 run to answer for Presentation College to take a late third quarter lead. J.C. Richter dribbles inside of Rodrigue Alvarez and scores. J.C. Richter with 5, an answer for the Vikings. It's 41-40. 15 seconds left of the third quarter. Saints in the front court with Nick Newell. She'll lob it up to the high post for Grace Lapumba. Lapumba out to Newell on the right side, 10 seconds. Newell driving baseline to the basket, foul. Adriana Torres stepping in, trying to cut off an angle. She's going to be called for her second, and that's going to put Nick Newell on the foul line with 5.6 seconds left of the third. It's possible for the Vikings to get out of here with an opportunity at the end of the third quarter. We will see. In the meantime, Nick Newell with 9 points on the day and 1 of 2 from the line. She gets 2 automatically here on the act of shooting. First foul shot is good. Newell now with a 10-point day. She's the second scorer to get there, as Adriana Torres had. Also, Ashlyn Diemert had made double figures as well for the Vikings before Newell does for the Saints. Second foul shot is good for Newell as well. And the lead is the Saints by 1, 42-41. 5 seconds. Wilhelmy dribbling into the front court. Look to get rid of it. Does. Richter. Deep three. Money! J.C. Richter. 10 feet outside the arc. Took it at the horn. And it counts. J.C. Richter with her mom in attendance today, who was honored between the halves, comes up with a big three for the Vikings, and the Vikings will take a 2-point lead into the fourth quarter on Richter's 8th point. At the end of 3, your score from the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse, the Vikings 44 and the Saints 42. Timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation. This is Viking basketball on the voice of the Vikings and the voice of the Valley, KOVC.
Central Avenue Health Mart Pharmacy, your community Health Mart pharmacy, is here to serve your healthcare needs. During the month of January, take 10% off all Health Mart and Sunmark products. The flu and cold season has hit us hard. For all your healthcare needs and prescriptions, see your trusted healthcare resource, Central Avenue Health Mart Pharmacy, downtown Valley City, where they know you by name. Health Mart, taking time to listen and care.
This is Dr. Ryan Lorenz, physical therapist at Mobility Plus Rehabilitation, with offices in Enderlin, Lisbon, Gwinner, and Valley City. Our mission is to provide exceptional physical and occupational therapy by highly skilled therapists to minimize pain and maximize mobility, which quickly allows you to return to the quality of life you desire. We will evaluate and educate you on your condition, review treatment options, and create an effective treatment plan to solve your impairments based on your unique situation and needs. I invite you to call our offices at Mobility Plus today.
We go to the fourth quarter. The Vikings leading 44-42. The Vikings went on an 18-5 run to take a 5-point lead over Presentation College after trailing by as many as 8. Then fell behind down the stretch of the quarter, and J.C. Richter hits a 3, 10 feet outside the arc at the horn to put the Vikings back up 2 as we start the fourth quarter against Presentation College, who has not won a game in the league this season. Richter inside, travel coming up, trying to put her back into Paula Bernal, Rodrigue Alvarez. So again, the Saints fighting for their first conference win of the year. The Vikings trying to avoid giving up a game back to Dickinson State on the weekend, and maybe 2 if the Comets don't hold serve out in Dickinson later this afternoon. And they need to run right now. Underneath, Lapumba trying to kick it underneath into the hands of Rodrigue Alvarez, and that post-entry pass is knocked away. The Vikings come away with the basketball and a turnover. Allie Critchley on top. Rotating back, we see a whistle away from the basketball. That's going to go against Presentation College's Grace Lapumba. Third quarter numbers, the Vikings still shooting 34.8% from the field, which is an improvement from where they were, but they have 14 more attempts at the basket today than Presentation College, but have shot 16% worse from the field. Presentation has shot 50% from the field today. Torres, scoop layup, getting through a double team. Missed it strong. Rebound to Nick Newell for PC, and the Saints are up the floor down 2. Left side, Kayla Carmen travel, trying to come back to her right hand. 19 turnovers for Presentation College. The Vikings are 6 of 23 from the three-point line through 3 quarters of play. It has been just a rough day for the Viking offense on their home floor. They still lead by 2. On top, Taryn Dieterle, high post, taking the ball from Allie Critchley and gives it back. Critchley is stopped. Adriana Torres spotting up against Newell, now working right off the spin. Got to the basket, scoop layup short. Rebound to Grace Lapumba for Presentation College. Under 9 to play. Vikings still with a 2-point lead. Newell up top, working left, drifting down towards the left wing, making her way towards the corner, drives baseline, pulls up from 6 feet, rolls in, and we're tied. Neck Newell going to the basket for her 13th. All even at 44 apiece. Inside, Dieterle, whistle and a foul. Coming up down low against Presentation. The foul's going to go against Paula Bernal, Rodrigue Alvarez, her first. And the Vikings will keep the basketball. Second team foul against Presentation College. So we've got a 44 game with 8:31 left to go in the fourth quarter here at the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse. Inbounds pass, J.C. Richter. Inside, Diemert back to the basket on Newell now. Kicking out, Dieterle, long 2 is short. Rebound to the perimeter, and Grace Lapumba will take it for Presentation College. Another chance for the Saints to grab a lead. Neck Newell stepping into the front court. calls play, works left. Down the baseline on a cut for Kayla Carmen, looking to set a screen. LaPumba comes in off the screen, but the ball will come back to Carmen on the foul line. Carmen to stop, look back towards LaPumba. Now she's cut off to Newell on top, and the shot clock's at 6 seconds. Newell stepping left. She'll pull up off the dribble for 3. It's off the heel of the rim. LaPumba, an offensive rebound, turning back to the basket. Shot blocked. It's loose underneath. Rodrigue Alvarez had it, and there will be a foul on the floor, and presumably against a Viking. Emma Nielsen's going to pick up that call. That'll be the first on Emma Nielsen. Let's get some scores in progress from the other games. Bellevue continues to rout Waldorf 84-53. They're down to the final 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter of that matchup, and Dakota State's turned it into a rout with Viterbo 76-45. Trojans 4:15 left in the fourth there. We have a whistle away from the basketball, and an offensive foul will be called against Kayla Carmen setting a screen. Second foul against Kayla Carmen. 7:45 to play in the fourth quarter. The Vikings and Saints are tied at 44 on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. Diemert handing off to Dieterle. She'll pull for 3. Rims off. Rebound inside. Taken down by Kayla Carmen for presentation. Saints will walk the ball back into the front court. Kayla Carmen stepping up top of the key, looking left, comes back to the high post right for LaPumba on the elbow. LaPumba taking a look, directing traffic, sends Lopez through, sends the ball back to Newell on the top of the key, and Newell will step back towards the circle. Newell drifting left, making her way to the corner. Back to Kayla Carmen coming off the baseline, into LaPumba, turning on Dieterle, got to the rack, count it 1. Grace LaPumba finding her way inside on a long orchestrated post-entry move for Presentation College, but they'll get the foul against Taryn Dieterle as well, and LaPumba a chance at a key three-point play that pushes the lead back to the Saints by 2 for the moment. They may have called that foul against Haley Roberts, and it looks like they did, so that's number 4 on Haley Roberts. LaPumba misses the foul shot, and Critchley comes down with a rebound. So the lead will remain 2. A score of 46-44. Inside, Richter pulling up on a jump shot. She got the left block and missed it, but is on her way to the foul line. That foul will go against Gabby Lopez, her first. And we're down to 7:02 to play in the fourth quarter. Well, we've had plenty of tight moments in the arena here the last couple of nights. Last night, the Viking men leading by 24 before dropping down to a 1-point edge on Mayville State. They held on for the victory, got the win by a score of 102-98. Now the Viking women facing a Presentation College team that's winless in the league and down by 2 with 7 minutes to go, and we see 2 misses from the foul line for J.C. Richter. Unlike her, she's 0 of 4 from the foul line today, and the Saints come away with the basketball still with a 2-point lead in hand. Nick Newell right side of the floor spinning. Critchley nearly picked her pocket. Newell comes back near side, bodied up by Roberts, and that is going to be the end of the game for Haley Roberts. Roberts will foul out with 2 points. It'll be her 5th. She walks towards the bench and will stand and wait. And it gives a hand to Adriana Torres, who comes into the matchup. So Torres will be the replacement for Haley Roberts. And with 6:49 to play in the fourth quarter, the first domino has fallen, if you will, as far as foul trouble is concerned today. It brings the Vikings' leading scorer back into the game, though. Adriana Torres with 10 points leading the way and did not start the fourth quarter. Jab step by Kayla Carmen for Presentation. They lead by 2, 46-44. Lopez back to Carmen to the top of the key, working right. Hard take to the baseline, lost the ball, got it back to Nick Newell, and Newell stepped on the baseline. A turnover that will send the ball back to the Vikings. What is the over-under on how long this game would take today? I mean, this has been just a lethargic matchup between these two teams. No rhythm, no flow. It's been hard to really get into as a fan. We've seen the fans struggle a little bit with it. Diemert on the way for 3 from the top of the key, and she hits it. Huge three-point shot for Ashlyn Diemert. Gives her the scoring lead today for the Vikings with 12, and they reclaim the lead at 47-46 on Diemert's 3 with 6:05 left of the fourth quarter. Newell top of the key, coming out to get her Torres. Post entry to Rodrigue Alvarez for the Saints. A kick near side. Carmen head fake looking. Back out to Lopez. 3-point shot right wing well short. Rebound trickles out of bounds, and the Vikings will get it back. Presentation College shooting 49% from the field right now. The Vikings, I believe they said 33 at that point. You just don't expect to struggle like that on your home floor. But one of the issues for Presentation College, Emma Ogichita, just coming back into the game, she was their leading scorer, hampered by a knee injury, played very little of the third quarter, now comes in at nearly the halfway point of the fourth quarter. Diemert, hard take, rejected by Lapumba. Loose ball to Richter, driving hard inside. That shot was blocked, and Rodri Galvarez will take the loose basketball for the Saints. Saints down 1, 5.5 to play fourth quarter, and Presentation's back in the front court. Newell stepping out towards the top of the key. The Vikings set up. Lapumba trying to spot up inside, and Ashlyn Diemert took away a post-entry pass that turned into a double team on Lapumba. Diemert behind the back dribble on Ogichita, kick out. Torres head fake, working left, kicking out left corner, sets a screen. Richter for three, in and out. Would not go down. She had the right shot that she wanted. Kayla Carmen pulls it down, but a travel in the back court. As Carmen tried to get going, it was spied and whistled, and the ball will go back to Valley City State. So the Vikings will get it back on a turnover with 5:02 left to go in the third. Still leading by 1 in a real struggle today. Ashlyn Diemert will take the ball against Ogichita. Top of the key, J.C. Richter. Richter working right, picks a spot, 15-footer, again in and out. She's got the right line. It just is not falling, and the ball ends up out of bounds off of the Vikings, and we'll go back to Presentation College. Some of the crowd perhaps a little unhappy with the way that call went, but it will go back to PC with now under 5 to play in the fourth quarter. Saints back into the front court, down 1. Neck Newell on top. Crossover dribble, stepping left, works into the wing. It just kind of continues to hold the dribble. A stop. Ogichita, left elbow to Lapumba, high-low, knocked away, out of bounds. The Vikings will get it back. Carly Jeffrey continues to lobby her case. I don't know that either coach feels comfortable with the way the game really has just materialized, right? I mean, you don't feel comfortable in one-point game no matter what, but there's some unknowns, some intangibles on the floor right now that they're struggling to explain. Adriana Torres got inside, pulls up on a quick jump shot and scores over the front of the rim. She's got 12. The Vikings lead by 3 at 49-46 with 4 minutes and 10 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter. Newell on top, stepping left. Coming back towards the right. She'll play it to the wing for Kayla Carmen. Carmen looking, reverses back. Newell inside Lapumba, hit by a double team. Lapumba driving right, got to the basket. Finger roll for Grace Lapumba. She's got 4. The Viking lead down to 1. 49-48, Critchley up the floor. Diemert left side, sneaking her way to the baseline, reversing to Critchley. Back inside, it's Dieterle. The turn on Lapumba, follow a missed. Rebound weak side, Ogichita. And the Saints go looking for the lead with 3:40 to go in the fourth quarter. 49-48, Vikings by 1. Saints with a basketball. On top, Newell working right, got a screen from Lapumba. Start and go dribble back towards the right corner. She'll take a look off the wing, comes into the elbow for Ogichita. Long jump shot off the heel. Rebound strong to the perimeter. Newell got it, and Diemert put a hand in and gets called for a foul. 4th on Diemert, 4th of the quarter on the Vikings. This will be on the floor, and that's the last foul for anybody to give. Both teams will finish the game in the penalty, and Madison Spacier, the freshman out of Watford City, will come into the game for Ashlyn Diemert. Inbounds play will come in from Neck Newell for the Saints. Newell taking a look, fronted hard, sends it out to Kayla Carmen at the top of the key, and the Saints go to work with the basketball. Carmen taking a look, stepping back towards the stripe. Lapumba sets a screen. Carmen dribbles into it. Stop, crossover, back right side. Knocks away Critchley. A stop, reversal to Ogichita on the right wing. 5 on the shot clock. Ogichita, a jumper that won't fall. Adriana Torres comes up with the basketball. The Vikings hold a 1-point lead. We're down to 3 minutes. They look inside to Dieterle, trying a scoop layup and missed that one short. Lapumba comes down with the basketball. Vikings trying to find some rhythm, but boy, that rhythm has been hard to find all day. And the Saints are back in the front court, still trailing by 1. Newell putting her back to the basket. Torres comes out to get her. Lapumba on the right elbow in the high post looking. Back to Newell on the right side, curling off the baseline to take it back in the right wing. Couple of jab steps for Lapumba. Reverses top of the key. Kayla Carmen had to go through her hands. She finds it. 5 seconds to shoot. Carmen goes towards the basket. Whistle, offensive foul. Kayla Carmen put a shoulder down. Allie Critchley was able to sell the call. And we'll see Kayla Carmen with her 3rd. Ball's going back to the Vikings, and a timeout taken by Presentation College with 2:27 left to go in the fourth quarter. The Vikings clinging to a 1-point lead, 49-48 on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. We have a timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation. This is Viking basketball on the voice of the Vikings and the voice of the Valley, KOVC.
Why choose professional eye care centers? Let's count the whys. First, there are now 4 great doctors to see: Dr. Frank, Dr. Freilich, Dr. Jangula, and now welcoming Dr. Bond. Next is their many locations. You can now see one of their spectacular doctors in Jamestown, Valley City, Carrington, and Edgeley. And finally, their fantastic frame selection. And yes, all of their frames and lenses are backed up by warranty. Visit proeyecarecenters.com and make an appointment today. Professional eye care centers, clearly the best.
2:27 remaining in the fourth quarter. It has been an absolute struggle today between Presentation College and Valley City State, and we don't say that sparingly. The Vikings have struggled offensively, but continue to lead 49-48. Going into the final 2:23, the Vikings shooting percentage from the field sits at 31% in their home gym compared to 47.5 for Presentation College. The Vikings with the basketball out of a PC timeout. Richter for 3, nibbles and falls short, and Lapumba comes down with the rebound for Presentation College. PC 47.5% from the field. We'll see a whistle and a foul. Madison Spacier trying to front Emma Ogichita, and Ogichita's going to the foul line. Spacier with her second personal. The Vikings 7 of 26 from the three-point arc. They have had 58 attempts. Presentation College has had 40. I mean, some of these numbers, 27 turnovers for Presentation College, and they're down 1 with 2:01 to go in the fourth. It tells you what kind of offensive day it's been for the Vikings as Ogichita completes her 11th point, knocking down a foul shot to tie the game. And now the Saints look to take a 1-point lead with 2:01 to go. Ogichita's second is good, the leading scorer for Presentation College, who the Vikings did not see when they played last Friday night, 2 Fridays ago, has put the Saints on top 50-49 with 2 minutes and a second remaining here in the fourth quarter. Critchley front court for the Vikings. The Vikings trying to avoid giving up the first win of the conference season to Presentation College. Deemer driving in, kick to Critchley right corner, crossover dribble, looking back to the corner, now kicks out left wing, was able to find J.C. Richter, who steps in on Rodrigue Alvarez, pulls up and misses in front of the basket. She's had some great looks, and she just hasn't been able to buy a basket. Ogichita comes away with a rebound for Presentation College. She rips into the front court, a stop on the right elbow, into Lapumba, the turn, the pull-up, she'll score. Grace Lapumba, 6 points in the fourth quarter for Lapumba. It's a 3-point Saints lead at 52-49. Dieterle for the tie, hits it, and we're even at 52. Taryn Dieterle with 8, hitting a big 3, a 3-point line that has not been kind to the Vikings today. 7 of 27 out there now, but that 3 for the post player for the Vikings ties the game at 52 with 1 minute and 16 seconds left to go here in the fourth quarter, and the Vikings will call for timeout for the final 76 of regulation to set what they hope is the game-winning rotation. We have a timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation. The Vikings set to play Mayville State in the men's half of the doubleheader coming up with a scheduled 5 o'clock start. We will be beyond that today, as this one's taken a while to get done. Not only has it been a day of struggles offensively, but you combine the 2 turnovers, 38 turnovers combined between the 2 teams. Presentation with 27. The Vikings only 11, which is respectable, but the stop-and-go nature of this has really dragged the game out. But the final 1:15 gives us an even matchup, and Presentation has the basketball out of the timeout. Ogichita working right side for the Saints, hands off to Nick Newell, coming back from right to left, and an offensive foul coming up as Allie Critchley was hit on an illegal screen. Grace Lapumba coming out from the post to set the screen. Critchley goes down, maybe sold it a bit. Lapumba will get the call to go against her. Carly Jeffrey, the head coach of the Saints, frustrated, but the ball goes back to the Vikings. They look to steal the lead in the final minute of basketball. Critchley high post to Dieterle, looking backdoor for Torres. It was the first play of the game. It ends up out of bounds as Torres couldn't catch up to it. The Vikings will turn it back over to Presentation College. Now you're looking at maybe 2 possessions left, right? 57.4 seconds left to go. And 30 seconds on the shot clock as PC walks it up. Lapumba, the right elbow, turns, squares up to the basket. Baseballs one to the near side. Evelyn Rodriguez was trying to hold it, could not. Ends up losing the basketball as she saved it in bounds. Taken away by J.C. Richter, and a timeout is called by Valley City State. So the Vikings will get the basketball back with 42.7 seconds to play in an even game at 52 apiece. Coming up in our post-game report, our Ivy Real Estate Group Player of the Game Award, brought to you by Ivy Real Estate Group, your locally owned real estate brokerage in Valley City. You have a team from Presentation College, 0-8 in the league. They're 1-18 on the season. Obviously struggling to know how to win basketball games. For the Vikings, a real lack of energy today. That's something that Vanessa Johnson has told us. She's been changing up her starting lineup repeatedly for the last 3 weeks because she's been trying to find somebody with passion. That's what she told us yesterday. You've got to have some passion. You've got to have some fire. And today, there are players that have had fire. J.C. Richter's had fire. Ashlyn Deemert has had fire. But Deemer's had her game limited due to foul trouble, and J.C. Richter's been snake bit trying to come up with buckets to go through. And then in the rest of the scheme of things, it maybe has been a little lethargic for Valley City State, going after some loose basketballs on rebounds, that type of thing. The rebounding number is 42-23 in favor of Presentation College. Now the Vikings 7-4 edge on the offensive glass, but 42-23 in the rebounding advantage for Presentation. And sometimes that's an effort number that you look at to really gauge your passion. And that shows you a bit about where PC has been. Despite being injured, they have several players with minor to moderate injuries. Inbounds play will come in. Ashlyn Deemert to the top for Adriana Torres. It's a tie game with 40 seconds to go. Deemert got inside and scores. Running the wheel from left to right. Ashlyn Deemert, who's had a terrific second half of the season, scores her 14th, taking the bucket from Torres, going to the basket and scoring. And the Vikings take a 2-point lead at 54-52, and the Saints will call for timeout. 38.1 seconds left. Timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation. This is Viking basketball and the voice of the Vikings and the voice of the Valley, KOVC.
Are you on the right financial path? Are all your financial professionals on the same page? At LaRue Lockout Financial, you can be assured that your investment professional and tax professional are working together. Call Ryan LaRue at 701-845-6938 or James M. Lockout at CPA 701-845-1660. Services offered through Investment Advisors, a division of Pro Equities Incorporated, a registered investment advisor, and securities offered through Pro Equities Incorporated, a registered broker-dealer and member FINRA and SIPC.
Timeout taken by Presentation College. Our LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard shows the Vikings 54, Presentation College 52. Welcome back to Viking basketball with 38 seconds left in regulation. The Vikings taking a 2-point lead. Valley City State fell down 28-20, went on an extended 18-5 run, took a 5-point lead, fell behind at the end of the third quarter. J.C. Richter hit a deep three at the horn to give the Vikings the lead, but Valley City State's never been able to stretch it out, and we've got a one-possession game going into the final 38.1. That's a tough timeout to manage for both teams. PC's trying to drop a play to get back in it, but there's a possession left at the end of this for Presentation College. Rodrigue Alvarez takes the inbounds pass and sends it back to Emma Ogitchita. Now to Neck Newell. Will they take her to the basket? That might be the play you'd call up if you're the Saints. Newell's a very dynamic player. She'll work right, got a screen that freed up Torres, but it was picked up by Dieterle, and we got a travel out on the perimeter. J.C. Richter came out to step in front of Evelyn Abunde, and a timeout taken by the Vikings after Abunde walks. Valley City State will get it back with 23.4 seconds left in regulation. Richter stayed with it defensively and kept Abunde away from the basket. And then Abunde tried to get started. The crowd saw it. The Viking bench saw it. It was whistled almost immediately. And the Vikings will get it back on a turnover. We're going to approach Presentation will 30 turnovers. Well, speak of the devil, they just updated the numbers. 30 turnovers for Presentation College. That was their 30th turnover today. The Vikings have taken 21 more attempts. Both teams have 20 field goals, but the Vikings have shot 20 of 62. Presentation 20 of 41. Every number on this thing is lopsided except the rebounding advantage in favor of Presentation, so I guess that's lopsided as well. Every number is lopsided in favor of the Vikings except the rebounding and the score. Deemer to inbound. Richter left side. Will they foul her? Rodrigue Alvarez double teams her. Abunde got there as well. Whistle. Late foul coming up. Carly Jeffrey thinks that the officials have bailed the Vikings out. J.C. Richter was in trouble in the corner. Abunde was there, and also Rodrigue Alvarez. And in the long run, they're going to call Paula Bernal Rodrigue Alvarez for her second personal foul, and this will put J.C. Richter on the foul line. Richter's 0 for 4 today. She can make this a two-possession game with 2 makes. She hits the front end. 9 points for J.C. Richter, the libero for the Viking volleyball team until November. Now has a chance to seal the deal for the Vikings and get them a 5th conference victory. Second foul shot for Richter, no good. It rims in and out. Rebound comes down with Abunde, and Presentation College is going to have a chance at a 3-point shot to try to send this thing into overtime. 18.5 seconds remaining. Both teams are in the penalty, so if you foul, you give up 2 shots. And I love this discussion in basketball. Do you foul? Do you come out and foul? And in that case, you deny the 3-point shot, you give them 2 foul shots, you rebound, and force them to foul you. Is that a conversation that the Vikings have? Now, it's kind of like pulling the goalie with 2 minutes instead of 1, right? It's a flavor. It is sort of an approach that all coaches have. I personally don't like the ball being in the opposition's hands with them being able to dictate what to do in this situation, but can you coax a miss? Presentation is 1 of 4 from the 3-point line today. They've taken only 4. And so who knows, they'll even take that shot. They may try for an and 1 rather than the 3. We'll see how the Vikings play it. Inbounds pass Nick Newell. Mo Peters on the top of the key. Peters is stopping to look. Whistle. And a foul away from the basketball is going to go against the Vikings, Ashlyn Deemert. And it doesn't look like that was the Vikings' intent. Deemert will be called for her 5th and foul out with 14 points. However, it will put Emma Ogichida on the foul line with 13.5 seconds left. So the Saints can't score 3. They can only score 2 unless they get an offensive board on a second, and then all bets are off at that point. Ogichida on the day with 12 points, leading the Saints in scoring, and she will miss the front end. Boy, the math continues to change and change quickly. Now you might want to miss if you're Ogichida all the way around. Second one's on the way. It's good. Cuts the lead to 2. She's got 13. Critchley to inbound the basketball for the Vikings. The Vikings are out of timeouts, but there will be a foul. Taryn Dieterle took the inbounds pass. Emma Ogichida tried to close the gap, but there will be a foul on the backside of against Paula Bernal, Rodrigue Alvarez. And Rodrigue Alvarez with 3. So now Taryn Dieterle to the foul line. And a chance to try to close this thing up and make it a 2-possession game. Dieterle, 1 of 2 from the line, has 8 today, has a chance to join the double-figure club for Valley City State. It would span 3 if she can connect both. First is on the way, no good, rolls off the heel. 8 points for Taryn Dieterle. Window remains open for Presentation College with 12.1 seconds left. Saints have a timeout left. Dieterle trying to force a 3 now. It's on the way. That one's good. So the Saints need a 3. Dieterle with 9. Timeout taken by the Saints, and everybody's out of stoppages. So here we go again. Do you foul again? Ogichida with 13. Newell with 13 to lead PC. And a timeout taken by Presentation College for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation. Scoreboard brought to you by LaRue Laco Financial. Should have finals into those other games. We do. Bellevue routs Waldorf today 90-55. Final score in that matchup, Dakota State with a rout over Viterbo 80-59. So the top runners in the league, 2 teams that were 7-1 out of the 3-team first place tie, have both gone to 8-1. Mayville State's at Dickinson State with an hour later start time, and that is due to the fact that they are playing in the Mountain Time Zone today. I don't know that we'll be able to pick up a score on that one in progress. We will see. And you're rooting for Mayville State. As tough as that sounds, the Vikings played their rivals last night, but the Vikings would like a win here and Mayville State to go and beat Dickinson State to maintain a 2-game lead over the Blue Hawks for 4th place in the North Star Athletic Association standings. So the final timeout has been taken. The Saints will inbound the basketball down 3 with 12.1 seconds left to go in the game, or at least in regulation. Mo gets it at the inbound. Newell trying to fight through a double team to take the basketball and does. She'll drive back to the right. Looking stop and go against Dieterle. Drives in, pulls up, misses. Rebound loose inside. Spacier got it. Scooped it away to J.C. Richter. Richter's fouled with 0.2 of a second left. And the Vikings are going to survive. In the meantime, Nick Newell and Mo Gitchida are still down on the floor as they tried for the rebound, couldn't secure it. Madison Spacier had the rebound, ran into Newell, landed on Newell, and then shoved the ball away to J.C. Richter. And everybody's up, and the Vikings will walk the length of the floor and shoot, which are now obligatory free throws with a 3-point lead and 0.2 of a second left. Corey Anderson, when he was the offensive coordinator for the Viking football team, once told me, "You learn to appreciate the ugly wins because there's no such thing as a beautiful loss." And this one's going to go in the book as an ugly win for the Vikings today. A win nonetheless. And the Vikings will stay in fourth place in the conference as J.C. Richter's at the line trying to cure the free throw bug. Not going to get it done in the front end. 9 points for Richter today. She is 1 of 7 from the foul line, including 1 of 5 here in the fourth quarter. All have been in the second half. Second foul shot. That one won't go either. She's got to feel like this gym just hates her. She finishes with 9, and the Vikings finish with a win. Your final score on the LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard from the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse, the Vikings 53, Presentation College 50. Our post-game report and a wrap-up of our women's matchup is next. This is Viking basketball on the voice of the Vikings and the voice of the Valley, KOVC.
Grotberg Electric believes in quality first, taking pride in the work and standing behind every project they do. They bring together the power, technology, and experience to keep your business online. The success of Grotberg Electric depends on 3 major ideals: the quality of their products, the commitment to their customers, and most of all, their customer service. Call Grotberg Electric today at 845-3010 or visit them online, grotbergelectric.com.
Central Avenue Health Mart Pharmacy, your community Health Mart pharmacy, is here to serve your healthcare needs. During the month of January, take 10% off all Health Mart and Sunmark products. The flu and cold season has hit us hard. For all your healthcare needs and prescriptions, see your trusted healthcare resource, Central Avenue Health Mart Pharmacy, downtown Valley City, where they know you by name. Health Mart, taking time to listen and care.
Welcome back to the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse as we move to our post-game report for Viking basketball today. The Vikings with a win, albeit in ugly fashion, but a win. Final score 56-53. Valley City State will improve to 12-10. They'll move to 5-4 in North Star Athletic Association play. They will stay in fourth place in the league as the weekend comes to an end. Presentation College 1-19 overall, now 0-9 inside North Star Athletic Association play. The Vikings fell behind by as many as 8, responded with an 18-5 run to take a 5-point lead, fell behind at the end of 3, trailed by at times by 1 or 2 in the fourth quarter, but held on, survived. They get the win. In a day where they forced 30 turnovers, you would think this thing's going to go handily towards the Vikings, but 30 turnovers undone by being out-rebounded 44-24 and shooting 32.3% from the field, including 8 of 28 from the three-point line. Presentation College had only 42 attempts. The Vikings had 62, but the Saints had the same amount of field goals as Valley City State today. The foul line did a little bit of difference, but the three-point line really was the difference for the Vikings. You've got 20 field goals apiece, but the Vikings hit 8 threes. Presentation hit 1. You can find the differences in that sort of scenario when you win the game by 3, and the Vikings win it by a final score of 56-53. Individual numbers, Presentation College co-led by Nick Newell and Emma Ogichida, who each scored 13. Newell pulled down 6 rebounds. Ogichida yanked in 5. But beyond that, scoring was tough. Grace Lapumba, 6 and 6 boards, all in the fourth quarter. Maybe needed to play a little bit more. Kene Carmen with 5 points. Kayla Carmen with 4. Deja Washington with 4. Mo Peters with 3. 2 apiece, Gabby Lopez and Evelyn Abunde. For the Vikings, 14 points for Ashlyn Deemer today, and that will be the game high for the Vikings. Adriana Torres backs up 22 last night with 12 tonight. J.C. Richter, 9 points, 2 rebounds. Taryn Dieterle, 9 points and 4 rebounds for the Vikings. 4 points for Madison Wilhelmy, Haley Roberts, Allie Critchley, each with 2. And again, your final score is 56-53 Vikings. The Vikings move to 5-4, will stay in 4th place in the North Star Athletic Association, and hopefully get some help as Mayville State plays at Dickinson State, trying to keep Dickinson State back in the standings by 2 games, and tiebreakers for the Vikings in that scenario as well. And that'll do it for the women's half. Our Ivy Real Estate Group Player of the Game award winner tonight, Ashlyn Deemert again. She hit the bucket down the stretch that gave the Vikings that lead late. That turned out to be the difference for Valley City State in this one today, is to get that basket late. Ashlyn Deemert struggled through foul trouble, somehow found a way, and led the team in scoring again with 14. She's had a great second half. Ashlyn Deemert is our Ivy Real Estate Group Player of the Game award winner. Compliments of Ivy Real Estate Group, your locally owned real estate brokerage in Valley City. Game number 2, the Vikings, the Saints in men's play. A night after Valley City State had a 24-point lead over Mayville State and held on after the lead was eroded to 1 in the final minutes. But the Vikings won 102-98 to hand the Comets their first conference loss. Now the Vikings will try to back it up with the sweep of the weekend against Presentation College, and it comes up next. We'll be away and come back in about 10 minutes with our pregame report from the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse. We say so long for a bit. This has been Viking Basketball, the voice of the Vikings and the voice of the Valley, KOVC.
Here's your forecast for today from staff meteorologist Mick Kerr. Mostly sunny and cold. High just 4 below zero. Wind chill factor is 27 below with north winds at 6 to 10. Tonight brings a partly cloudy sky. Low 17 below. Wind chill factor 36 below with west winds at 10 to 13. Gust to as high as 18. And tomorrow, partly sunny. High just 4 below. West winds 10 to 14. Gust to as high as 21. For more weather, you can log on to our website anytime. NewsDakota.com.
Slowed down, took a 2-lane road to a 1-horse town. There was a party going on. When I got there, I heard a welcome speech from a small town man. He said, we got 100 gallons of sweet red wine made from the biggest watermelons on the vine. Help yourself to some, but obey the law. If you drink, don't drive, do the watermelon crawl. Started playing the Watermelon Queen. Said, let me show you something that you ain't never seen. She grabbed me by the arm, said, come on, let's go. She dipped down, spun around, and do-si-do. She rocked back on her heels, dropped down to her knees, crawled across the floor, then she jumped back on her feet. She wiggled and she jiggled, beat all you ever saw. Said, this is how you do the watermelon crawl. She said, we got 100 gallons of sweet red wine made from the biggest watermelons on the vine. Help yourself to some, but obey the law. If you drink, don't drive, do the watermelon crawl. Down in Georgia around about July. If you ain't in a hurry, then you ought to stop by. I can guarantee that you're gonna have a ball learning how to do the watermelon crawl. Well, we got 100 gallons of sweet red wine made from the biggest watermelons on the vine. Help yourself to some, but obey the law. If you drink, don't drive, do the watermelon crawl. We're all in the same boat, fishing in the same hole, wonder where the same time goes. We're all in the same boat. We can all believe what we believe, peacefully agree to disagree.